Hey, welcome to a very special episode of View the Right Thing. I'm Wes.
I'm Alexis.
Alexis, we have somebody with
We
us.
do.
Dwayne. Hi, Dwayne.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, that's you. You're the one.
The one and only.
Dwayne.
I'm the one like Neo in the Matrix, but
Yes.
not.
I mean,
Are you our savior?
he's special.
Oh, I
You're
certainly
not.
hope not.
He is our savior. He's
We're doomed. We are so doomed.
he does all our intros. Of course, he's our
Yeah.
savior. He's the one who makes us sound like we're a legitimate podcast.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So it's Oscar time. Probably won't go into too much preamble because
Because this is a long one.
it's a long one.
We just got to get into it.
It's always a long one. All right.
Yep.
Well, anything exciting going on in your world that you want to talk about?
I just closed that play.
Yeah, how was it?
It was great. We had sold out crowds.
I'm sorry that I missed it.
It's okay. I actually, my director recorded the dress rehearsal, so I can send it to you.
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
As long as it's not going to make me feel weird. Like, I know there's some adult themes in it.
Yeah. But it should
Rated
be
MA.
rated MA. Yeah, but it's good.
Okay.
It's good. We had a really great response. So
We could do it as a community watch for...
no.
Okay, apparently we won't do it as a community watch for View the Right Thing. That's unfortunate.
How are you? What's going on with you?
No, nothing. I just took a trip.
Yeah.
I'm back from snowy Ohio. It was really cold. It was really cold, you guys.
Like real cold.
I'm not made for that, I don't think. It's I mean, I did okay. I did figure out like it was like, oh, just a coat and a scarf, not enough for me. So it was like hoodie, scarf, coat, gloves, hat. You gotta have that.
Yes.
I did okay once I figured that out.
Good.
Took me a couple days.
Good. Did you enjoy yourself?
Yeah. I saw a museum. I saw a concert while I was there,
Ooh.
and ate some good food. Apparently, that area of Ohio, the big thing is corned beef,
Ooh.
which
Is there a large Irish population there?
not that I could tell.
Huh.
The pierogi was also a really big thing there.
Mhm.
And my close friends know that I'm a big Reuben fan. That's my favorite sandwich. And so I tried a couple of different Reubens while I was there. So that was pretty exciting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cool. That sounds fun.
Oh, I saw the new Captain America movie too,
Oh, awesome.
which I enjoyed.
Very cool.
And had, for the first time ever, I had always said I was going to do it, and I never did. Dwayne, you probably know what I'm about to talk about. Well, you'll recognize what I'm going to talk about. AMC Theaters has something at their concession stand, and they've had it for years. And I've always said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I never did it. I finally ordered the giant Bavarian pretzel.
Oh, nice.
It's awesome.
How giant is it?
It's big enough for two people to share.
Wow.
It's big. It's a big pretzel, and it comes with cheese.
Yes.
And you can get it like salted, unsalted. You could get everything bagel seasoning on it or whatever.
Nice.
It's really. Do you know what I'm talking about, Dwayne?
I've not been to an AMC in a while, but if there's pretzels involved, especially if there's a cheese cup, oh, I'm so in. But the follow-up question was the cheese cup that gave you enough?
Oh, right.
I would say no.
That's what I thought.
It's $1.25 for another cheese cup. Here's the thing: I shared it with somebody, and they chose honey mustard
Ooh.
instead of cheese, whereas I had cheese, so it was enough for half of it for sure. It would have been enough for more than half the pretzel. But
It's never enough. In my experience, they never give you enough.
No, that's
No.
true. No, you're
I mean,
right.
that's if I go to a place that has like fish and chips, they don't give me enough tartar sauce. I have to ask for a second tartar
Oh, yeah.
sauce.
Oh yeah, I don't even tartar sauce my fish and chips. Am I weird?
Maybe.
Yeah,
I'm just a
it's a little odd.
malt
Vinegar?
malt
Okay.
vinegar, yeah, on the fries too.
Oh,
The
yeah.
chips.
Yeah. Nice.
Man, Dwayne, what's going on in your world?
How you doing?
Oh, been working out. I actually got a notice on my fitness app yesterday that I was overtraining because I almost overdid it yesterday with a friend of mine. But
Wow.
I'm still very much alive, fortunately, for all
Thankfully.
parties involved.
I was gonna say your ears look more buff than I remember. We just can't see any of this.
I'm trying to wiggle right now, but I realize I can't wiggle my ears. So
Yeah.
what are you going to do?
Good luck.
Other than that, I am super excited for this new season of Yellow Jackets. I absolutely love that show.
I've never.
So
Me
I'm
too.
super into it.
I love
Wes.
whiskey.
Wait, so do you know anything about it?
Yeah. I think I did watch the first episode.
Oh,
I don't have Showtime. What am I gonna
it's
do?
not on Showtime.
Yeah, it is.
The first season's on Netflix.
Yeah.
So you can watch it there.
It's on Paramount Plus.
And it's
I don't have Paramount Plus either.
it's very much up your alley because it very much reminds me a lot of Lost.
Yes.
And you were a huge Lost fan.
Yeah, I was a huge Lost guy.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't have. So it's actually a Showtime show.
Oh.
Paramount Plus does a thing where they include Showtime shows with Paramount. I don't know if they're both owned by CBS or what, or Paramount owns all of that, but
They are.
there you go. And so it's included, I believe, but I think it's actually a Showtime show technically. And so I don't have those things. I used to have Paramount Plus when I was watching Evil. And when Paramount decided to cancel Evil, I was like, fuck you and your subscriction service right out the door. No, I wasn't angry about it. I mean, I was sad that Evil got canceled, but what a great show.
Yeah.
You guys watch Evil?
I know of it. I kind of want to watch it. I just haven't gone around to it. There's just
Anything
so
about
much
it.
to take in.
It's so good. It's so good. It's like X-Files meets. It's got a bit of a Lost vibe to it because it's got the guy that played Ben Linus in it.
Evil.
But it's Kaya Gerber and Luke Cage. What's his name?
Mike
Mike Coulter and Asif Mandvi.
Oh yeah, and Michael Emerson.
And they're like, they work for the Catholic Church and they go to like prove or debunk miracles and demons and things. It's awesome.
Whoa.
And it's like very tongue in cheek and funny.
Cool.
It's surprising how funny it is. And so it started on CBS and then it went to app only in the second season. And once they made that transition, it was like the gloves were off. So everything got like bigger, more aggressive, more swear words, sexier. It's just a very, very fun show.
Nice.
Should not have been canceled.
So many should not have been canceled.
I think it had high ratings. It was really critically well reviewed.
Is it because it was talking about the Catholic Church?
I don't know. And the actors all really loved being on it. And it was like it's like one of Stephen King's favorite shows of the last several years. And
Wow.
yeah, I mean, it's pretty high praise for something horror related.
I'll say.
I'm pretty sure I think that's also available on Netflix as well.
Yeah, I think so. And they did a really cool thing. So, they have intros for shows and then they have like the little skip intro button. And in the last season, they started having fun with that. So it was like, if you press the skip button, a ghost will haunt you. Like it was different every episode.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's
That's
pretty,
clever.
yeah, pretty great.
Nice.
All right. I'll watch Yellow Jackets.
Yes.
You watch Evil. I'll watch Yellow Jackets. I'll figure
All right,
out.
fair enough. Fair trade.
I'll at least watch the first season since it's on Netflix.
I have a friend who works for Paramount Plus,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, I can't watch all of. Only season 1 is on Netflix, and she's like, it's all gonna be in Netflix.
Well, yeah.
It's all moving there.
Yeah.
She's like, I got the inside scoop, and I was like, okay, thanks.
I'll be patient.
Yep.
I do like all the actresses that are on that show,
Yes.
especially Melanie Linsky. Everybody loves Melanie Linsky, though.
Mm-hmm. She's delightful.
In real life.
Yeah.
You've met her.
Yeah, she's one of my cousin's really close friends.
What?
I had Thanksgiving dinner with her once.
What?
Yeah, my first Thanksgiving here.
You-
It was great.
You're connected to all these people. They've never once been on our podcast. Just saying. Melanie Linsky.
I don't have her number. Like,
You got your cousin's number?
yeah, but Melanie lives in Georgia.
Wayne's not in California. He's on the podcast right now.
Alexis, we have this great new thing called technology.
What?
The internet.
What? Do you mean we've had customers? We've had people come on who aren't in this country?
Yeah, that's true. We had Phil on, and he was in England.
Right.
She's like, "Who's Phil?" How quickly she forgets our.
Trying to rack her brain. Like, Phil. Yeah. How could you forget? Oh, Phil.
Guy, old beardo. Yeah. Although what movie is coming out pretty quick, and I keep harassing you about it. Is
That movie that I don't want to see.
but we got to see it.
I know.
Your friend made this movie.
I know.
Her friend made a movie, and I'm like, can we A, go to the premiere, and B, get him on the podcast? I would like to interview him about the movie for this podcast because I think he did something really interesting with it. So, what's his name?
David
Sand
Sandberg.
Yeah,
Mhm.
David F. Sandberg.
F. Sandberg, yes.
Who did the new Until Dawn film?
Okay.
Mhm.
Which again, as my friends know, I'm a big Until Dawn fan. So
Yeah. I'll see what I can do.
talk to that guy.
I will see what I can do.
It'll be a very favorable interview.
I know. Oh, of course. You're not going to like.
I'm not gonna be like those fanboys who are like, oh, why is it different than the video game?
Creative licensing.
Just
You can be
creativity
creative.
in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna stop grumping. Are you hot already?
Yes.
You are. You can't be hot already. What?
It's okay.
It's like
I am a sensitive person.
You are. You're a sensitive little flower.
Yes.
All right. Well, should we talk about the Oscars?
Let's do it.
The Oscars are happening on Sunday, March 2nd. That's
Yes.
like a week away.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a week away from when we're recording this.
Yes.
This episode will come out very quick.
Yes.
How do you guys feeling about Oscars? You guys excited?
Yeah, I am.
Are you gonna watch them live?
Oh, I definitely will. I'll probably make pizza that night and just watch the whole shindig. I'm really stoked to see how Conan O'Brien does as host. I'm really stoked for him.
Yeah. Someone was asking me who was hosting. I was like, I don't know. So just a little reminder for those listening, this is like the best way if you have like an office pool. This is going to give you lots of information. You can hear our picks. Some of us, Alexis has won this competition once.
Just once.
Yeah, but you know, this could be your year. This could be your year. Dwayne is new to the competition. So you know what? For newcomers do have like a weird, uncanny ability to sneak in a win. So maybe Dwayne's going to get that win.
If I'd known that gambling was involved, I would have put down money.
Yeah. We will post after each award is given. We'll post on Instagram an update to the score. How the scoring works is we get to pick 2 winners in each category. You can pick the same film or person for the category twice. So you're picking who you think is going to win, who you think the Academy will vote in. And then there's a 2-point value for that. So if you get that correct, you get 2 points. Then you can pick who you want to win, and they can be the same. You may want the same person to win. That's 1 point because, you know, we want to give a higher score to actually getting it correct.
Yeah.
So you can get up to 3 points. I don't recommend stacking all of your votes. I think that's not a great strategy, but you do. I've got it. Look, there are plenty where I was like, I do want this person to win, and I do think they're going to win.
Yeah.
So it's
You
gonna,
double down.
It's going to happen. I thought this year I was going to be really split, but I was less split than I thought. And I think I'm going to surprise you. I think I'm definitely going to surprise Alexis.
Oh.
So we'll see how this goes. So I've created its own order in which we're going to do this. So we're going to start
Nice.
with there are a whole bunch of things that I have not seen.
Mm-hmm.
And
Like
I basically front stacked how we're going to do this with the things I haven't seen. So we're going to breeze right through them. Unless you guys have something to say about any of these films, documentaries, shorts, things like that, we're just going to kind of whip through them fairly quick and figure out what our things are.
Yeah.
Although I will say that my picks are what I think the industry will do.
Awesome.
So even though I don't know anything about them, I know that. Just trust me. Just trust old Wes. Got the wrong side out here. All right, documentary feature film. Dwayne.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're going to start with documentary feature. It is in the middle column if you're looking.
Got it.
What's your pick?
For this, I'm going to go with soundtrack to a coup d'etat.
You think is going to win?
I think that one is going to win.
And what do you want to win?
I'm going to go with Sugarcane.
Sugarcane. Like a little D here. Alexis, my friend.
I think that No Other Land is going to win.
No Other Land is going to win. All right.
And I want Soundtrack to a coup d'etat.
Okay. My turn.
Yes.
All right. I picked for both Porcelain War
Whoa.
to win.
Amazing.
And I doubled down because I just don't know anything. I was just like,
Sure.
it might be a good idea to split them, just because like if you don't know anything about them, you just like have a greater chance of getting something. But
That's why I did that.
I'm gonna play a little risky.
Go for it.
Alexis,
Yes.
let's move on to documentary short.
Cool.
Right below that,
Okay.
what do you think is gonna win?
I think The Only Girl in the Orchestra.
Alexis thinks Only Girl in the Orchestra. What do you want to win?
For no apparent reason, Incident.
Incident.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We're just winging it over here, friends.
I picked the same again. I did the thing where I did both of them the same.
Mm-hmm.
I picked I Am Ready, Warden.
Oh.
I know it's an MTV Films documentary.
Okay.
Dwayne, what you got?
What I think is going to win is Instruments of a Beating Heart.
Oh. Okay.
And then what I would like to see win is I Am Ready, Warden.
Okay.
Right.
Dwayne and I getting some similarities there. Woo! Okay. We're gonna move over to animated short film. I'll go first on this one. It's on the first column near 3 from the bottom. I picked again both the same because I'm a slacker and didn't get to see anything. I picked Magic Candies for
Nice.
both.
Nice.
Alexis, what'd you pick?
I think Magic Candies is going to win, and I want Beautiful Men.
Okay.
I want Beautiful Men.
Who doesn't?
Sorry.
Dwayne, what do you think's gonna win?
Suddenly, this turned into a dating podcast.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go with. I'm going to start with In the Shadow of the Cypress.
Is going to win?
Yep. And what I want to win is Yuck, because how often do you get a movie that has an exclamation point in it?
That's true.
So-
That's true. Okay. Look at that. We've done 3 already. This is not going to be a 4-hour podcast
Breezing
this time.
through. Haha. Yeah, you say that.
Yeah. Okay. What do I have next on here? I have, that's 14. For live action short. Dwayne, what do you
Live action
think is
short. Let me
gonna win?
find live action short. Oh, there it is. Got it. Let's see. I'm going to go with what I think will win.
Mhm.
I'm going to go with I Am Not a Robot.
Okay. What do you want?
And what I want to win would be The Last Ranger.
My eyes are failing me. I saw that as the Lone Ranger. All right. Alexis.
I doubled down.
Yeah.
I'm Not a Robot.
All right. Could not have been more different than you two. I picked The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent as the winner, and I wanted Anuja to win. I don't know how you say it. Okay,
Great.
moving on. Okay, here's where we're going to start getting controversial, and I think you can address your controversial
Great.
thing, but I think we should address the film at large a little later, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So international feature, since she's got a lot to say, we're gonna start with Alexis. Oh boy, we started with the
Well,
sigh.
It's odd, I guess, that Emilia Perez was the French foreign film nomination when The Count of Monte Cristo could have been the nomination, and I feel it was a better film.
I didn't see it, so I guess.
Oh, you need to come over and we'll watch it. Jeff bought it. He was like, I love this movie.
Okay. I will say I get why Emilia Perez was nominated.
Yeah,
I can't say in comparison to another film,
sure.
but I get on its own why that film was nominated.
Right. So, when I watched Emilia Perez, I hadn't realized that it was a French foreign film.
Okay.
So I think
French
Emilia Perez is going to win.
French director,
Yeah,
comes from France.
not in French.
Yeah, but I mean, if they had made a movie where people spoke English, it still would be a French film, just because
Was
it's
it
in
filmed
English.
in France?
No, no, I'm just saying. Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, like, where
Actually, it was.
is
It
filmed
was filmed in France?
Yeah, Emilio Perez was largely filmed in France.
There you go. But I mean, like, it doesn't matter, like, what language people are speaking. It matters where the country, like, the origin of the filmmakers and where they're, you know, where it's coming out, who produced it, you know?
Okay.
Like the British produce films that are shot in the U.S. We produce films that are shot in England, but I wouldn't call them British films just because they were shot in England.
Okay.
Like Star Wars or something, you know, they shoot that in England.
Yeah.
Some of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just throwing the argument out there.
It's fine. So I think that, yeah.
But I think when your complaint about there's another French film that you think is better, I think it's a valid complaint.
Yeah.
Again, like I haven't seen. Have you seen this Count of Monte Cristo?
I have not.
I've only seen the Guy Pearce one.
It's terrific. The filmmakers, the two guys who do it are really fantastic, and they do such honor to the story. And they also, like the year prior, they did a 2-part film of The Three Musketeers. And it's just stunning. It's cinematically stunning. It's all in French. And it's like the costuming is incredible. Eva Green is in it.
Oh, like Eva Green.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's really fantastic. So I would urge people to go and see The Count of Monte Cristo just because it's fantastic. I'm sad it was not nominated, but I digress.
We you know this.
I can't do anything about it.
I've been there because we, you know, in a previous Oscars podcast, The Lunchbox was not nominated by India. They nominated a different film, and it blew my mind. And I was like, The Lunchbox would win the Oscar if it was nominated, and it wasn't. You know, so I get what you're saying. I've been there. But you think that Emilia Perez is going to win? What do you want to win of these?
I'm still here.
I'm still here. Dwayne, do you have a take on this?
I'm going to echo what Alexis said. I think Emilia Perez. I think Emilia Perez is going to win, but I'm still here to win. And I think like some of the controversy with Emilia Perez might torpedo their chances.
So it's interesting. So there's another film in here that I was really torn about. It's called The Seed of the Sacred Fig. And if anybody knows sort of the kerfuffle with getting this filmed, this filmmaker has filmed things that were critical of Iran previously. And because of his previous film, they arrested him, let him go because they were going to have a trial, and blah, blah, blah. He started making this film, The Seed of the Sacred Fig. And while they were filming this movie, they called him and they were like, so here's the deal. You're guilty. They're going to come arrest you in about 2 hours. And you're going to be in prison for like 10 years or whatever. And so he made a quick decision, packed up all his stuff, and fled the country. He left on foot, went through the mountains on foot, and escaped the country. And they and they had been making this film, Seed of Sacred Fig, in secret. And so they smuggled all of the film and the equipment out and finished the movie.
Wow.
And this is that part. So like from the perspective of like this is like a harrowing story and a really interesting like real life political trauma. Like I was a little piece of me kind of wanted to vote for that one. I picked I'm Still Here to Win. And I picked Emilia Perez for my want.
Oh.
We'll get into Emilia Perez a little bit later.
Well then. All right.
Yeah. I knew that would surprise Alexis.
I am surprised. Yeah.
So
all right.
Yeah, moving on. We'll move on. But it's funny that all of our symbols are on the same movies, just that they're just in flipped.
Yeah.
So, so number 6 is sound.
Oh yes.
I can start with that. I was a little bit torn. I ended up picking this. No, I didn't. I didn't pick the same actually. I really think that Dune is going to win. I put that in the wrong spot. My X in the wrong spot. Pardon me. And I wanted the Wild Robot.
Oh.
I think the sound design is really cool in the Wild Robot.
Wow.
And we can talk more about Wild Robot when we get to animated feature films.
Okay.
If anybody wants to talk about Dune while we're on the topic of Dune, feel free. Um, but I don't have a ton to expand on. I just think it was really interesting, and compared to these other movies, I just thought
The Wild Robot was.
I thought Dune was probably going to be the one that people
Yeah,
will latch on to.
that's the one that I want to win.
Okay, so let's do Alexis.
Sorry.
No, that's good. Dune, you want Dune 2 to win,
Yes.
and you picked.
A Complete Unknown.
Oh yeah, also good sound design.
So I think that's what will win. Is A Complete Unknown, but I want Dune.
Dwayne, what you got?
I'm going to put both my votes on Dune.
Yeah, I feel like Dune might be a safe bet.
It was incredible.
Yeah,
The sound was so amazing.
it was really good. It was really good. I'm not a big Dune guy, as people have heard on the podcast many times. I did like Dune 2 a lot more. Of all of the Dune things I've seen, which is the David Lynch, the Sci-Fi Channel made-for-TV two-parter or whatever, Hodorowski's Dune, Dune 1 and Dune 2 of the new Dunes. Dune 2 is my favorite of all of them so far.
It was so great. I watched it again.
I'm actually interested in seeing the next one,
Oh yeah.
but I hope it's about Zendaya. I could care less about Paul. F that guy. F that guy. What a chump. I could take him.
Could you?
No. He's got special powers.
He does. Oh.
Do you want to talk about any others? Or Dwayne, do you want to talk about Dune at all?
As far as Dune goes, like I've only seen the David Lynch version, and the last time I saw it was years and years ago. And I remember when the first new Dune came out, that was like when theaters were starting to open again, and you could watch it on HBO Max day of. But I'm like, this is like a movie that needs to be seen on a big screen. So that was like one of the first movies I saw going back to theaters. So
yeah,
and just like the sound design is absolutely incredible. Because like if I were in the film industry, like I'd want to be in the sound department. That's something that I'd want to get trained up in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say that it's got such a rich soundscape to it that I think that's why I choose both. I want to win, and I think it's going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to visual effects right below that.
Cool.
Dwayne, what do you got for visual effects?
Visual effects. Ooh. Oh boy, I'm probably on this. I'm going to go with what I think will win. Will be Dune Part 2. But I think what I want to win is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. All right, Alexis.
I want Dune Part 2.
Okay. What do you think will win?
I think Wicked is going to win.
All right.
I mean, they do have really fantastic visual effects.
Yeah.
Period.
I picked Dune to win. So we all picked Dune to win.
Nice.
And the reason why I said it was interesting was because I also want Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes to win. Have you seen Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes? It's on Hulu. I was absolutely blown away by Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes visual effects. I did not care very much for the story. I thought the story was just a little like, I've seen it so many times and just a little bored by it. But like the visual effects were. Do you want to elaborate on that at all, Dwayne? Or
no, I mean like it's. I think the previous trilogy of Kingdom of the Apes, that was very, very well done, and this is sort of like a slight evolution, if you will, of it. So it's an incredible feat that they've done with it. So I think it's a solid choice. I think between that and Dune, like it's like that much of whether I go on board with both of them. For Dune, but I think Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes has that little bit of edge to it.
Yeah, I don't think the apes get enough respect from like the Academy, which is why I think Dune is going to win. But man, so much of that movie is digital, and it all looks real. It all looks real.
That's cool.
As much as like people like complain about how fake CG is, like. You know it works really well when you don't notice it, and you don't really notice it in this movie.
No, yeah, you just buy it the whole movie. It's easy to forget that there's actual humans in the film.
Wow.
There's only a couple. There's only a couple of like human actors in the movie. I mean, they're human actors playing apes, but
But like actual visual humans.
visual humans.
Okay.
There's like two.
Wow.
Who was the guy? My brain just blanked on who the guy was in it.
I don't know.
Super wrecking. Oh, William H. Macy.
Oh.
He's a human in it.
Oh, that's right.
There's a guy and a girl, and the guy is William H. Macy. And I don't remember the girl's name. She's young.
She's young. I'll ask the interwebs.
Yeah, the interweb. If only we had our research person.
It's okay.
It's okay. She's not
Kingdom
going.
of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, that's the movie.
Yep. Is it any of these people?
Freya.
Oh.
It's Freya Allen. So there's an interesting thing, like, you know, if you're a Planet of the Apes, watcher aficionado, the original, the love interest, the human love interest is Nova, and then in these other movies, these newer movies, they still call her Nova, and so it's a different woman each time.
Oh.
So there's been a previous Nova in this series, and now this movie takes place generations later, and this girl is also called Nova because that's just what they're all called.
Oh, okay.
Basically. And so it's like they kind of explain why they're still calling them Nova, which I think was kind of like a clever, cute thing.
Is that just what they call female humans?
That's just what it's kind of.
Okay.
It's a little more convoluted than that, but yeah, basically.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Nice. Now I need to watch it. I mean,
It's good. I mean, it's all right.
I wish I could have watched it.
It's beautiful. I'll say that. It's beautiful.
Cool. I've never seen Planet of the Apes.
Oh, well, you should go back and watch the James Franco one, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Okay.
Because that's kind of where it starts, and they reference a lot. Even though this is like, I don't know, like 5 generations later or something, they reference the original storyline that ended with the previous movie.
Cool. Do I need to watch the Charlton Heston ones?
No,
Okay. Thank you.
this is all presumably prequel to the Charlton Heston.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's its own thing. I don't think it's really connected, but the presumption would be that I think this is a prequel.
Cool.
Yeah, because I think like the original was like humanity nuked itself in an atomic war, and this is like the James Franco version is like a bioweapon that gets loose.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's cool though. Tom Felton's in it in the first one.
Who's that?
He was Draco.
Malfoy?
Yeah, Draco Malfoy.
Oh.
Yeah. He says the line. I'm not going to say what it is. I'm not going to say it.
What? This is the Planet of the Apes?
No. Dwayne knows. There's a line. There's a really famous Planet of the Apes line, and
Okay.
Heston has said it. Phil Hartman has said it,
Mm-hmm.
and Tom Felton has said it. So
Sorely.
You'll know it when he says it.
yeah, you'll know when he says it
Okay.
because it almost doesn't fit. Like it's almost like, oh, okay,
Okay.
but it's sort of like, oh, he said the line at the same time, So you kind of just overlook it. Anyways, that's enough about Planet of the Apes. Listen,
I hate every chimp I see, from chimpanzee to chimpanzee.
real quick, just a couple of these visual effects movies. Just so, Better Man as the Robbie Williams film, also featuring a monkey.
Yes.
Alien Romulus, I loved it. It's a fantastic film. Maybe the CG's a little wonky to me in it.
I think that's the issue that would torpedo it.
Yeah. Although the alien creature, dude in a suit, cool, super cool. Not what you would think was a dude in a suit, but it was a dude in a suit, real tall dude in a suit.
Nice.
Yeah. And then Wicked. Yeah, I think you kind of covered Wicked. I mean, it's visually really spectacular. I felt like some of the CG, like especially when you have a movie like Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes in the same category, the monkeys in it did not buy them. When they were
in Wicked.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. In Wicked, I just like there's something so CG and like
There's a little Uncanny Valley.
like you know that something's not quite right there.
Yes.
Whereas in like Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, they look, I don't know, it just works. They look so good.
It is interesting that 3 of the movies in here
Had monkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, apes.
We're all apes on the inside.
So there's a 60% chance that an ape-themed movie is going to win one of these. So we've spread things out pretty good.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Okay.
Now we're on to
Film editing. Woo-hoo.
Oh boy.
Are you ready for film editing?
Yes.
You want to go first?
Sure.
Okay, what you got?
What I think is going to win, Wicked. I
Wicked.
think that's what the Academy has chosen.
If it doesn't win, no one will mourn it. So whatever.
What I want to win.
Yeah.
I was even surprised at my answer. The Brutalist.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey. Okay. A for Alexis. Dwayne.
Yeah.
Film editing.
What I would like to win, it would be Conclave,
Mm-hmm.
and what I think the Academy will pick will be The Brutalist.
We about to start blowing some minds here.
We are all over the place. I love it.
I'm gonna tell you what I want to win first.
Okay.
What I want to win is Conclave.
Really?
Yeah, I was really impressed with like the sort of intensity of and sort of like the build. There's something really interesting about Conclave, and it starts with the editing, and that's it's kind of what I would call like an invisible movie where like nothing like pulls you out and makes you stop and think about that one thing. You know, you don't stop and think about the editing, you don't stop and think about the music, you don't stop and think about, you don't really even stop and think about the story, you just go where it goes, right? And so in that way, it's kind of invisible. And I think there's something just like it would be easy to overlook Conclave, which is why I didn't pick it to win. But I want it to win because I think it's like just this like really, really well done.
Yeah.
And my pick to win is Honora. Love that look.
For all of you just listening, I practically broke my neck looking at Wes.
Yeah, I just like that movie just moves, man. It just moves.
I really thought Alexis was about to flip a table right there.
Wait till we start talking about Amelia Perez later. Yeah, no, I just it's edited by Sean Baker. I mean, he's like definitely a true auteur. And I really respect the work that he does. And I just don't feel like that movie like ever just like I never felt like it dragged, you know, just
That's so interesting.
yeah. You felt like it was dragging? Really interesting. Interesting. It's going to be an interesting time to calculate votes this year. Yeah. So there we go.
Wow.
And I'm sure there's like a low hanging joke about The Brutalist had an editor.
I know, right? Yeah, that's true.
3.5 hours. What?
There was a part of me that, so prior to having seen everything,
Yeah.
I was like Brutalist. The Brutalist is just going to run away with everything, and I do not think that anymore. I think the editing is fantastic in The Brutalist, but like, talk about a movie that feels like 3.5 hours. You know, like it is 3.5 hours if you feel every minute of that movie.
Yeah.
That's not what I really want. Like Oppenheimer, I felt the opposite, right? Like it's like 3 hours, and I felt like it moved. You know?
Oh, for real?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
You and I watch movies very differently.
I know. I know we do. We have different attention spans and
Mm-hmm.
different interests,
Oh yeah.
and that's fine.
Different
You know,
interests.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's a nice way of her saying, shut up. Move on.
No, I'll have more to say when we get to the Best Picture segment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
For what it's worth, I also think Emilia Perez is edited really, really well. It's real, again, another really snappy, and musicals are really challenging.
Yeah.
And with the type of music that they chose to do, they weren't like theater ballads. They're, you know, they're like very modern and kind of hip hoppy and
A little gritty.
and real gritty. Uh oh. Did we lose Dwayne? We lost Dwayne. He'll come back. He'll come back. But yeah. So I don't know. I thought the editing in Emilia Perez was really good too. I just don't think it's gonna win.
Yeah. The more that I think about it, yeah, it did.
Let's text Dwayne.
Okay.
I'll say, come back. Does he even?
Yeah.
Does he even know he's gone?
He might just be talking to himself.
This is what we get inviting this
Newbie.
amateur on.
It's okay. It happens. We're going to take a top break.
Remember that one time we have Phil on. We talked about Phil earlier.
Yeah.
And the whole internet went down.
The whole
It
internet.
was crazy, crazy show. He's just be there shortly.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. This break brought to you by Tater Tots.
They're delicious.
I was like, Alexis, we probably shouldn't eat while we're recording with microphones, right? And she was like, nah,
Eh,
who cares?
as long as we're not smacking like into the microphone. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay.
what kind of inflammatory argument can we get into while we're waiting for Dwayne?
Oh my
He comes
gosh.
back in and we're just like screaming at each other.
That's very interesting. We had a wide range of choices for film editing.
Yeah.
But none of us chose Amelia Perez.
Yeah, there was Amelia Perez was one of the earlier films that I watched in this grouping, and it was one that like initially I was like, I get the number of nominations, and like it was like it's really easy to sort of like stack whatever you see first is like, okay, this is the bar, and then like other things come in and it like shifts the bar around. But yeah, he has to reboot.
That's okay. Well, what's our next?
Well, let's stick with editing right now while we're waiting.
Okay.
Wicked.
Yeah.
I had never seen Wicked before. I'd never seen. Remember, I had never.
That's right.
And I didn't go see it in the theater. And part of the reason was I didn't want to go where people were like singing and dancing.
Yeah, that's fair. That's why I didn't initially want to go and see it in the
I
theater.
did watch it with somebody who was quietly singing to this. They weren't actually audible.
Okay. They were like mouthing.
They were definitely dancing. And I was like, don't forget why I didn't go see this in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
So this is my first time seeing it. I was a little worried about like, oh, am I gonna hate Ariana Grande? Am I gonna, how am I gonna feel about this? And I liked the movie a lot. We'll get more into it as we get there. But regarding editing, I thought it felt long. I didn't. That's usually like my sort of like my first indicator for editing, right? Whether or not you feel like you've been in a movie for that long.
Sure.
And I felt that with Wicked.
And do you feel that it felt long because of the editing or because of the script and how they broke it into two parts instead of having one show?
No, that's a great question. I think probably the editing. I think there's probably some like, there was definitely some moments where I was like, is this really needed? It's weird. There were moments where I was like, I wish that we were holding on some things longer, and moments where I was like, yo, get out of this. Like, go. So I just, maybe my complaint is maybe I felt like the pacing wasn't what I wanted out of it. Not to say it wasn't good. It's obviously nominated for an Academy Award, so it's obviously excellent editing. It just maybe wasn't what I was wanting. I was not blown away by the film. And I wanted to be blown away by it because I had never seen it, and I wanted to be like, I want to be a Wicked fan. It's like the first time I listened to Taylor Swift or whatever, and I'm like, you know what? I want to be a Taylor. I did it. Like, oh, I want to be a Swiftie, or whatever. And I just didn't come away from it with that. I mean, I have hopes for a sequel and like what I might take away from it. So, but yeah. So we were vamping more on editing while we're waiting for you to come back, Dwayne.
Yeah.
I think I got back just in time. Although you were making the point about like hip operas or something like that. Like, oh, I want to hear this, and like I just shut my browser closed. I'm like, no, get to the good part.
Yeah, and that was just Amelia Perez is just it's just a little bit more modern, and so it required like really precise, snappy editing, and that some of that comes down to like the score, which we can talk about that when we get to score,
right?
But the visuals got to match in a musical. The visuals got to match the music. So
yeah.
All right, so we are moving from film editing to animated feature film. I'm very excited about this one. Who should go first? Dwayne, you're back. Welcome.
Back in action. Oh, okay. So I'm going to say I think what will win is Inside Out 2.
Okay.
And what I want to win, I'm going to go with I'm going to go with the Wild Robot.
You go first. You want to go first?
You go first.
I picked, and I did see almost all of these. And I picked the same thing to win that I want to win, which is the Wild Robot.
Oh, nice.
A great indicator for me to whether I connect with the film is whether or not I cried.
Oh.
Although I will say I was watching Inside Out 2 on an airplane and struggling to not cry in front of hundreds of people. I did like Inside Out 2 an awful lot. I liked Wallace and Gromit, but it just felt like the same Wallace and Gromit that we've seen already. It felt like The Wrong Trousers. It was it was an extension of The Wrong Trousers, which won an Academy Award years and years ago. But and it's an achievement in hand sculpted animation.
Yeah.
But the movie itself just didn't really grab me. Wild Robot, I cried. I was like afterwards, I was like, I need to call my mom. It was a very very easy to connect to. I thought it was a really beautiful story. So I'm a big fan of the Wild Robot.
Yeah. I didn't get to watch all of these, but I was able to catch little snippets of them for this. I want the Wild Robot to win, and I think for no reason other than my brain told me so, that Memoir of a Snail is going to win.
Interesting.
I know.
All right.
I know.
Okay, so now we move on. Does anybody want to say anything about any of these other films? Anybody want to weigh in on Wallace and Gromit or Flo or?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
Cool. No, it's fine. 10 is what we're on.
The only thing I'll say about Flo is I did see it. I did really enjoy it. I think the only thing that's holding it back is that I don't think it's as accessible just because there's no human dialogue in it. So I think that might kind of hold things back because people really think of animated features as more mostly children's entertainment.
Yeah.
So I think that some of the voters kind of see it through that eyes, what would my kid want to see again?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think so that's hence Inside Out 2 of the Wild Robot would be the leading contenders for that.
Yeah. I mean, going with Disney is almost always a safe bet. So I get it.
Yeah. But just to play devil's advocate, there are some really great animated films from the past that weren't really meant for children. And what I'm thinking of in particular is the Triplets of D'Urberville.
Bell.
What did I just say?
D'Urberville?
Thank you.
I was gonna try and ask you if I could guess what you were gonna say because I already knew.
Is that what you were gonna say? I love it. The Triplets of Belleville is so great.
It's great. Won the Academy Award.
Oh, it did.
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, not it's not for kids, but it's more.
It's definitely not for kids. I don't feel like it's for kids.
Yeah.
Kids. It's like one of those movies where kids could watch it but not understand it.
Totally.
Yeah.
We know each other so well.
Yeah. Look, we've been doing this for a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so to maybe one of Alexis's favorite categories, if not her favorite, question mark. We're moving to costume design. Dwayne is in that first column at the very bottom. For those listening, we're using the official Oscars ballot that you can download off of the Oscars.com website.
Yes.
So when I say, it's in the first column at the bottom, you all can follow along as well.
Yeah.
So do you want to go last since this is your category, or do you want to go first?
Sure, I can go last. That's fine.
I feel like you're the authority on costume design out of this group. So I'll go first because I feel like we've been making Dwayne go first.
Oh, I'm so intrigued.
A bunch. I'm gonna absolutely blow your mind. Are you ready? You better. Are you?
I am.
Are you you have your hand over your phone?
Yeah.
I doubled down on costume design. Legitimately doubled down, not because I didn't have an opinion.
Okay.
I doubled down on Wicked.
Wow.
Feel like I've grown as a costume appreciator. I thought all of the costumes were really good. I couldn't tell you if A Complete Unknown was accurate. I'm watching it and going, is Alexis complaining about zippers right now? Or,
zippers existed in the 60s.
Yeah, I know. I thought Conclave was excellent costumes, but we've seen Bishop costumes over and over and over, ad nauseum. I'm done with it.
The two popes?
Yeah, well,
just happened.
And kind of what we were talking about with Conclave before is that it's sort of an invisible film, so everything is great. costumes are amazing in it, but it's so easy to kind of forget to think about them because
Right.
you've seen them a million times. There's nothing in there that like I felt like was like wholly unique about the costume design in that film. On the other hand, Wicked, almost the entire thing is wholly unique. You know, there's not just like there's things that you could recognize, but things added to things that you recognize. So it's like a combination of things that I thought was really kind of fun and interesting, and I enjoyed that aspect of the movie. Dwayne, what'd you pick?
I almost wanted to go with wanting Nosferatu to win, but I think I'm going to follow in your footsteps and say that I think Wicked's going to get it because I think like those are the kind of pieces where there's a lot more variety, and I think like you were mentioning with Conclave, I think the costume design of Conclave is a little monotonous. There's not as much variety. It looks great, of course, but there's not as much variety. But I think Wicked has that variety. So I think that's the shoe in to win.
Okay, and is that what you want to win also, or?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I should say Gladiator 2, good costumes. I like that they brought some of it back from the original movie. Cool. I didn't see Nosferatu. I didn't get around to it.
Oh.
I know. Bummer. I can't talk about it. Is that your pick?
So that's what I think is going to win, Nosferatu.
Nosferatu is going to win.
That's who I think the Academy has chosen.
Now I feel like I chose poorly. Okay, go ahead.
But I want Wicked to win.
You want Wicked to win.
The costumes were incredible. Okay, let me just like go through it. A Complete Unknown. It was wonderful. It was like costume wise, it was accurate and unique, but didn't blow my mind. I was like, cool, you did your job.
Yeah.
You did your job.
I thought the costumes for like Pete Seeger and like the more folkier the people were, I thought the costumes were more interesting.
Sure. Yeah.
So just throwing that out there.
Yes. Conclave, I agree. It's basic, I guess.
Yeah,
like
basic.
it's nothing. It's not like, oh my God, look at that cloak or whatever they wear.
Yeah.
I'm not Catholic. I don't know what they wear, but
Yeah.
it's those things, the robes and
Yeah.
stuff. Gladiator 2 was fine. I think I enjoyed the costumes from Gladiator the first
Oh, interesting. Okay.
more than this one.
Yeah, when I think about like Gladiator 2, you know, between the twins, Denzel, and the mom.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the actress's name.
Connie
but
Nielsen.
Thank you.
Yes.
Those costumes are really like beautifully ornate. And Denzel's, I think in particular, are the ones that stand out to me. But yeah, so.
I enjoyed the makeup more than the costumes in Gladiator 2.
Oh, interesting. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Shoot, I just lost my
I'm sorry.
little form. Nosferatu, I found to be very moody and unique, and like it just popped in a different way.
Yeah.
Which is like, it was hard to choose between Nosferatu and Wicked because they're completely different. But I'm just going to say I think that the Academy would choose Nosferatu. However, Wicked was so fantastic. Those costumes
Yeah.
were so special and like really played up what each character was.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like, oh, this person's a witch, and so they're going to wear this thing.
Yeah.
It like played into the character. And shoot, I wish I had doubled down on Wicked, but I got to stick with my original pick.
The
But
die has been cast.
I know, but the Wicked costumes were just like, mwah,
Yeah, they're really good.
chef's kiss.
All those shoes.
So many shoes.
So many shoes.
It was really beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else you want to say about costume? Before I
No.
move on?
No.
All right. We're going to move on to, that was 10. We're moving on to 11. Makeup and hairstyling. I wanted to kind of keep two things kind of similar together.
Mm-hmm.
You go first this time.
Okay. I think that what the Academy has chosen is Wicked.
Okay.
However, I want the substance to win
Interesting.
because that the it was so
Il Mostro.
right. You must throw. It was so unique.
Yeah.
I think that it just they did such a fantastic job with how the monster comes out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, all of it is.
Yes.
Did you see the substance, Dwayne?
I really wanted to, but never got around to it.
Oh boy, it's
Wow.
Yeah, it's very intense from what I understand.
it's very gross.
Yes. I before I watched it, before I watched it, one of my old roommates was like, "It is grotesque," and I'm so glad she said that because
Had you not known it?
had I not known and gotten into it, I'd be like, "What is happening?"
Yeah, the first scene with the substance would have really, really
Mm-hmm.
picked you. I'll go next. We'll do Dwayne.
Okay.
So you picked Wicked, and then you think the substance will win.
Correct.
I
I want the substance to win.
you picked Wicked. You want substance to win.
Mm-hmm.
I doubled down because I think and want the substance to win. I was really torn because obviously in Wicked there's a lot of makeup going on there, and the hair, a lot of hair.
Yes.
And generally speaking, I think the Academy doesn't really love to vote for horror, but there is something so visceral about the practicality of what they did in the substance that I think it's going to win, and I also just really respected what they did because it was bold. It was real bold, Dwayne.
It was so bold.
It's real bold.
Mm-hmm.
Dwayne, what do you want to vote for?
I'm going to echo Alexis' sentiments. I think Wicked's going to win, but I want the substance to win. I think Wicked is sort of like the safe bet because it's cleaner, and Wes, like you said, like
Totally.
the Academy doesn't really do horror. They're not really into it, so I think that's why I want it to win. Because I think in a sense they do have a shot because I think the Academy is probably loosening up a little bit in the last couple of years. So I think the substance does have a pretty decent shot. But again, Wicked is sort of like the clean version for them. So it's
Right.
not going to be as freaky. So those are my choices.
Nice.
Yeah.
And when I choose the substance, that is not to say that Nosferatu didn't also have really fantastic makeup.
Yeah.
Oh, it did. Yeah.
I also didn't see Different Man. It was like I kept trying to get to it. It's on
Yeah.
Max. It's not like I didn't have access to it. I just didn't get to it.
Yeah.
And I'll just say I thought Emilia Perez also had really good makeup in it. Especially the early scenes. Pre-trans.
Pre-surgery.
Pre-surgery was really, thank you. Pre-surgery, not pre-trans. Pre-surgery were really interesting to me. I've seen the only other time I've seen a character before a trans character before and after surgery is Orange is the New Black.
Yes, I knew you were going to say that.
And that wasn't even the same actor.
It was his brother.
Her brother. It's okay. We can make mistakes. We just correct ourselves.
Yep.
Acknowledge it. Yeah, she has a twin, and
That's right.
and
Yeah.
they had her twin brother play her before the surgery, whereas this was somebody who is a woman playing a man, and I don't know, it was very striking to me. So I just want to acknowledge it. That was well done.
I wonder if that like messed with her head. Like, oh, this is what I looked like when I was younger, when I didn't like
Yeah.
what I looked like in the mirror.
Maybe
I wonder if that like messed with her.
I don't know what she looked like younger.
either.
I sort of suspect tattoos and a grill, like a Mexican gangster. It's probably not reflective of who she was
Right.
younger. So I'm gonna guess it's probably different enough, but maybe a little
Yeah.
bit. Maybe there. I can't put myself in that position to understand. So
Yeah.
Okay. Number 12 is production design, kind of sticking in the same realm, I feel like. Dwayne, why don't you go first on this
I'm going to double down on this. I'm going to say Dune Part 2.
Ooh, I love that.
Nice.
I love it.
Both votes going to Dune Part 2.
I'll go. I'll let you do this one last.
Okay.
Production design. Are you ready for this?
I am. Am I, though?
I doubled down on Wicked.
Oh.
So much of that set was practical.
Yes.
It just like
The room.
the room. I mean, everything. The Emerald City, like the shops in the Emerald City, the courtyard of the school.
Mm-hmm.
Dumbest name ever for a school, by the way, but fine.
The tower.
The tower. Everything was just like. Although the tower, I think there was a lot of probably maybe not so much practical. I mean, obviously it was production design, but it wasn't like physical production design.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was. Oh, the library.
Yeah.
The library, really fucking cool. So yeah, I doubled down on Wicked. It was tough for me because I actually really think all of these films. I haven't seen Nosferatu, so that's the only one I can't really talk about. But the Brutalist production design, holy shit, that is epic.
Yeah.
And it was really hard to not choose that. But I do think Wicked's going to win. And so I had to put that.
Wow.
And I wanted it to win, so I couldn't split my vote. So this is one of the situations where like I actually wanted to split my vote, and I felt like I couldn't, and be true to like,
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
Conclave also really great. I mean,
Beautiful.
It looks legit.
Yeah. It was stunning.
I don't know where they shot that, but it looked like the Vatican. So, but again, it's like, again, going back to the invisible thing. It's like, we've seen the Sistine Chapel, we've seen the Vatican. So it all kind of feels like, oh, I've seen this before. But like, I'm pretty sure they probably didn't blow out windows in the Vatican,
You don't think?
Yeah, no. So I don't know where they shot that. But it was really well done.
Yeah.
Dune, obviously, freaking Dune.
Incredible.
Yeah.
The water, the place where there's the water and they go to drink it.
Yeah. That little like temple. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is so gorgeous. And is that part of the production design, or is that?
Yeah, I would assume so.
This was a really challenging
Yeah.
choice for me.
Okay, so what'd you choose?
This was really hard. I want Wicked,
Okay.
but like at the same time I don't. But it was very, very challenging for me. But I think the Brutalist will win.
I think it's a really good pick. Again, like I said, I was really torn.
That production design was so incredible and so specific. And not to say that Wicked wasn't so specific, nor Nosferatu. Like, they were all really, really incredible films.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very torn when I had to choose one or the other, because I kind of wanted to double down on both of them, and I'm not allowed to.
Yeah. Well, there's a moment really early in the Brutalist where I was like, and this is before I saw Wicked. So I was like,
Okay.
Again, talking about that moving bar.
Mhm.
I hit my mic again. I did that for you. That moving bar, and so it's like, oh, then I see something else, and that one takes the place.
Mhm.
And I hadn't seen Wicked yet, and early in the Brutalist, and you see the library that he designs with just a single chair under
Yes.
the skylight,
And the doors open so that the
I was-
sunlight doesn't damage the books.
and I was like, oh my god, this is gonna win production design. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing.
But that was based off of something that he actually created.
Yeah, but they had to do that. They had to make that, like
Sure.
the construction sets and these giant blocks and like the furniture, even the furniture store. Like, there's just like
Yeah.
so much that goes into that I was just, and like his little apartment after he gets kicked out, and there's just like so much going on. The offices that he's drawing plans in
Mhm.
after he's like moved on from the construction job, like just so much of that it was just like imposing
Mm-hmm.
and like asymmetrical as intended, and
Right.
just a reflection of the work that he was doing in real life. And so I thought the production design, and it was really, really difficult. But once I saw Wicked, I was like, and
They stepped it up.
and knowing that they were like we want as much real physical production in this than less visual effects.
Yeah.
Less CG to say.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing all that, I was just like, I think I have to choose Wicked. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I think The Brutalist is a really great choice.
It was so hard.
It's a really great choice.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much.
All right. Number 13. Where are we at? 13. Cinematography. Did I make Dwayne go first last time? I'll go first.
Okay.
I doubled down on this because actually I really, again, really loved. This is where I thought The Brutalist takes it. Doubled down on The Brutalist. I thought the cinematography was like, and it's weird because I didn't pick it for production design, but I think the cinematography like picks up like everything that the production design maybe didn't quite do all the way. The cinematography's like, and the choices of like right at the beginning, you see the Statue of Liberty like from their perspective, so it's like upside down and like at an angle, and again the library that when you see when nobody is in that room and it's just the chair and it's like negative space, but like somehow every bit of space is used at the same time. It's like, oh, that's cinematography to me. So yeah, I just like, there's this, you see it in a lot of promo pictures, but when he's watching the furniture being welded kind of near the beginning, and it's like super early morning and the sky is like super dark blue behind him and the sparks are shooting up, it's like, come on. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. That's the kind of stuff that like, that's what I want to see when I go see movies and just be excited about film in general. Like that's the kind of stuff I want to see. So why don't you tell us what you picked?
Oh, okay. So I'm going in a different direction.
Okay, I like it.
I want Dune Part 2 to win.
Oh my.
Cinematography.
You want it to win.
I do.
Okay. It's beautiful. I mean, in a weird
as
way.
someone who I didn't really want to go and see it. I didn't.
Same.
And a friend, my buddy, was like, come see Dune with me. And I was like, okay. If anything, we get to hang out and watch this movie together.
You've seen a movie.
I've seen a movie. A lot of times I will just acquiesce to go to a movie.
Yeah.
Because it's a way to get to hang out with my friends.
Yeah. That's how I get her to Marvel.
But I was really, really struck by that, by the cinematography. It was just so beautiful.
For a lot of brown.
For a lot of brown.
it's very beautiful.
I know.
Yeah.
I get the cinematography made me feel more.
Yeah. They do a lot of like, they let shadows do a lot of work in that movie. Which goes a long way, and it's also really understated, underused. Underappreciated. That's what I'm looking for.
Yes.
Shadows are underappreciated in film, I think.
Agree. And speaking of shadows, what I think is going to win is Nosferatu.
Speaking of shadows, I was like, I know where they're going.
You really need to see it.
I will. It's on Peacock now.
Good.
It hit Peacock on Friday. And I was like, I'm flying in. I was like, I get home, I'm gonna watch one of these movies. There's another Best Picture movie that I had tickets to yesterday, and I ended up canceling them so my flight out of Ohio was delayed.
Oh.
Then then once we got on the plane, it was delayed even longer sitting on the plane. And then we got in late to DFW where my layover was, and then that was delayed. And then it left even later than the delayed time.
Gross.
So like by the time I got home, it was 9:45 p.m. and I was hungry and tired, and I was like, I want to eat and shower and then fall asleep. And then yesterday I was just like, I just don't have the energy in me to go out to the theater. So I missed one of the movies I was the most excited about last year, which was The Nickel Boys.
Oh, right.
And it's only showing in one theater for one showtime yesterday, anywhere around here.
So hard.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I didn't get to see Nickel Boys. So, anyways, I don't even know how we got on that. Dwayne, what are your picks? Nosferatu's on Peacock. I didn't watch it because I was too tired to like focus my brain.
Yeah.
So Dwayne, what are your picks?
Okay. Well, I've only seen 3 out of the 5, so I have to go. I have to pick 2 that I've seen. Although, of course, I could roll my lot with something I haven't seen just because I feel like it. But I would say, very similar to what Alexis went with. I want, or rather, I think that the Academy is going to choose Dune Part 2,
Interesting.
and what I want to win is Nosferatu.
So you're like Alexis, just reversed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a lot of shadow that Nosferatu plays with, where yeah, you kind of look in the darkness and you can see like these outlines, and your brain starts filling in the little details. So the way they did that was very, very clever. It was done very well. So yeah, so that's my lot for that.
Now that you've cast your votes for Nosferatu, let me ask a question since I haven't seen it. Is there a possibility that the Academy goes, we've seen this before, we don't want to vote for it again? Like, because I know, like, what I do know about Nosferatu is that, so Nosferatu is an F.W. Murnau film that was remade in the 70s. And then this is another remake. And I know that this film uses shots from, like, they've recreated shots directly from both of those films.
Oh.
And so I guess my question is, and again, I haven't seen it, so I couldn't really weigh in, but as two people who've seen that, do we think that the Academy might be like, well, they're just recreating something we've seen before? Is it that interesting? Like are the sets like German expressionist, and like, you know what I mean? Like, are they like, oh, there's these funky angles and big shadows, and we've seen Nosferatu like this before?
I'll let you go first, Dwayne.
I'd say with the 70s remake, that's something from 50 years ago, and I don't know the Academy would have a memory that lasts that long. So they may see this as through fresh or younger eyes, because you have like a younger generation of cinematographers that see it and would throw their lot in with the newer Nosferatu.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely something that could be considered, but I don't see it as being too big of a factor.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say if they thought it was too similar to a previous Nosferatu, it wouldn't have been nominated.
Unless there's nothing else to nominate. I mean, it didn't. It like, for example, like, it didn't get a Best Picture nomination. For example, you know, like.
Well, that's
like,
for a reason.
Yeah. Okay. We'll go there in a bit, I guess. All right. No, I mean, I think you're bringing a, you know, interesting take on that. I just don't know. I just sort of wonder if that maybe will dilute the vote a little bit.
Okay.
But I don't know.
I don't know.
They don't let me vote, so
Those jerks. They got to let you in.
tell me about it.
Let's work on that next year.
Next year,
Yes.
I should get to vote. If I ever get all of these right, I should get to vote.
Yeah.
You hear that, Academy?
Yeah.
I'm making you agree to that.
You're listening to our podcast.
Yeah. All right. 14 is original score. It's in the middle, near the bottom.
Oh.
Alexis, why don't you go first this time?
I doubled down.
On?
I might shock you. The Brutalist.
You doubled down.
I doubled down on the Brutalist.
Oh, I'm using the wrong color.
How dare you? Yeah.
Dwayne?
I think what will win is Wicked. What I want to win is The Wild Robot. Just because those are like two of the three of that category that I've actually seen.
No, that's good. So it's interesting. I originally doubled down, and I changed it this morning.
Okay.
I originally doubled down on The Brutalist. I do believe The Brutalist will win.
Ooh.
Am I going to do purple again? God damn.
Yeah.
What's wrong with me? You get extra votes on that.
Hey.
Dwayne's got an extra vote. You got an extra vote. Okay. Green. Okay.
Well, I'm a guest because I get an extra vote.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I picked The Brutalist to win. I want Wicked to win. I listened to Wicked again this morning, and it's just like, the score in particular. And please note that there are no songs from Wicked nominated for an Academy Award
Well, because most of them are from the
from
musical.
the musical. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just pointing it out for people that are So yeah, it's really like for movie music, it's pretty epic. The score is really good.
Yeah.
Like the song when they first get to the university, really good, really good.
Which one?
Just a score.
Oh, okay.
We're talking score.
Yeah,
Yeah. You're like whatever.
it's fine.
It's amazing. Don't listen to her. It's amazing.
As a musical theater major, I'm saying it's fine.
I think The Brutalist was good. I think The Brutalist is all over the place. There's a lot of like weird ambient, and strange horns. And then the jazz stuff, freaking great. Jazz stuff a little too few and far between for my taste. I think there's a little too much of the like.
You wanted more jazz.
I wanted more jazz.
Okay.
Yeah. I wanted something that tied me. Like we had the cinematography, we had the production time, we had the accents, which there's some controversy around. I think everything tied me into the movie enough that I didn't need the music to be completely reflective of the brutal. And like it could have been there, but not as like in my face.
Yeah.
So but I do think it's gonna win. I think it's what the Academy will choose.
Yeah. Cool.
This wasn't my favorite.
And that's fine.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Quit looking at me like that. Okay, let's move on to original song. I'll go first this time. I went last
Okay.
time. You might not like me. Tell you what I want to win first.
Okay.
Let me tell you what I wanted to want to win first. But I didn't vote for. I didn't vote for it. I wanted Like a Bird. I wanted to want that more. But I chose my want to be The Journey from 688. I think it's the more like sort of like complete palatable. Like when I think of like a song from a movie, I think of that like final song from the credits, they have like some artist, in this case it's her, HER, I guess. So that's what I want out of my original song. But I picked to win El Mal from Emilia Perez.
Oh.
I think it's like the most dynamic, most interesting of the songs. And I think that the Academy likes opportunities to address corruption. And when you have a song that's all about addressing corruption, I think that's very appealing to voters. So, and I thought the song was good. I like the song. That's mine.
Beautiful.
Dwayne, which Perez?
This is a one I'm gonna go both votes in on.
Okay.
Just for no reason at all. Because he's a veteran. I think Never Too Late.
So
I think Elton John's like the safe bet.
You know what? Like he's retired. Like maybe people go, hey, this is his last hurrah for getting an Academy Award. Maybe we'd do it. So
Yeah.
you might be right. It's a good song, but it's very Elton John-y. Like it's like you hear it and it's like, oh yeah, that's a very clear Elton John song.
Yes.
Love
Elton John.
Not that it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's just, heard a lot of Elton John songs. What's your picks?
I doubled down on this one. I chose Like a Bird from Sing Sing.
Yay.
Yeah.
I'm really. We'll talk about Sing Sing when we get to actor.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to talk about Sing Sing.
Okay. Did you get to see it?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Yeah. What do you mean?
It was one of the movies that and Nickel Boys were the two, which both dealt with prisons, were the two movies I was most excited about to see last year. And I just never got around to the theater for Sing Sing, but I did get to see it eventually.
Yeah.
You doubled down, you said.
I did.
I love it.
I did double down on that one.
I like the song a lot. Did not like the music video because they put a bunch of like dialogue from the movie. I was like,
oh, yeah.
Okay. 16. Adapted screenplay. Oh, we're getting into it, guys. We're getting to the hot topics here.
Oh boy.
Adapted screenplay. We got a complete. There she goes.
Sorry.
Complete Unknown, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Nickel Boys, and Sing Sing. Do you want to go? Do you want me to go first? Oh, my phone's buzzing. I'll talk to him later.
Sure.
Wait, what's going on? Am I going first? Going first.
I can.
You're gonna go first. Okay.
Yeah, because I doubled down.
You doubled down.
I know. I
Cheer.
know.
Okay. What?
Sing Sing.
Sing Sing. Double down on Sing Sing.
I did.
Hey.
I knew nothing about that film going into it.
Yeah. I can't wait to talk about it. I can't wait to talk about it. I love it. I love it so much. Actually, we can talk about it in this because it's about the story.
Yeah.
Well, let's get through the
Okay.
votes first.
For sure.
I'll let Dwayne go last because I keep making him go in the middle. I picked Conclave to win.
Okay. That you want to win or that you think is going to win?
I think it's gonna win.
Oh, okay.
I say it's gonna win.
It's gonna win.
I just mean I think it's gonna win.
For sure.
I want Sing Sing to win.
Mm-hmm.
Dwayne.
I think Nickel Boys might win.
Oh.
And I'm partially throwing that out because one of my really good friends is a high school English teacher, and she's teaching that book to her students this quarter. And
awesome.
she just read it on the plane recently, and she absolutely loves it. And she asked me if I'd seen the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I said no. She said, "Okay, I'm going to give you a book. Read the book first before you see the movie," because she always gives me grief about watching movies that are based on a book that I haven't read, which is a whole lot. So she always gives me a dirty look.
All right,
I'm going to see a movie that's based on a book that I haven't read.
I'm going to give you something to take back to her in a second. But
okay,
that's what you think is going to win.
I think that's going to win. What I want to win is Conclave. Just because I think that's the only other movie actually it's two. Emilia Perez and A Complete Unknown are the only two that I've seen other than that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Conclave has again, if a movie really throws me off from the ending, if there's just no chance at me understanding where the movie's gonna go, I'm gonna be attached to that storytelling. That's one of the reasons I think. And I think it's socially relevant to what's going on in the world right now as well. So again, thinking about the Academy, that's why I chose that. But let's talk a little bit about Sing Sing.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about it? Or you want me to just?
Yeah, you talk and I'll interject.
What do you know? So Sing Sing. Do you know the name of the program? The rehabilitation.
Acting?
No. Can you look up what the name of it is?
Sure.
So there's a program in prisons that allows inmates to engage with the arts to sort of work through trauma and emotion and sort of accepting why they're in the position that they're in. What? Oh, she made a face.
I'm just not coming up with anything.
Not finding it.
No.
Let me
Sorry.
look it up. Do you want to talk about what the movie's about, and I'll just I'll look that up.
Sure. I'll even just share what IMDb says.
Well, it'll probably say it in the name of it's the Rehabilitation Through the Arts, RTA.
Yes. So it's about people imprisoned at Sing Sing, which is a prison.
Real prison.
And this guy, Divine G, he was in prison for a crime he didn't commit, and he finds purpose in by acting in a theater group alongside other incarcerated men. And this story is about resilience and humanity and the transformative power of art.
Yeah, and the real Divine G is in the movie. At the very beginning of the film, a guy comes up to him and says, "Will you sign my book?" That's the real Divine G. And the guy that plays his best friend in the film, Mike.
Yes, Mike.
Is Coleman Domingo's best friend. They've been friends for decades. So they're truly connected to each other. And most of the actors in the film are former inmates who have gone through RTA. And
a bunch of them were playing themselves.
They were playing themselves.
Yes.
All of them have used their own names.
Yes.
And so recidivism in prison is a huge deal. And so they keep track of recidivism rates. And on average, the recidivism rate for an inmate is 60%. You're 60% likely to come back. People who have gone through the RTA program, that goes from 60% to 3%. So it's a hugely impressive and important. We hear about how important the arts are for young people and in schools and stuff. It's
important.
People just don't really understand how it can really transform your life and help you understand empathy and decision making and how to deal with your emotions. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
the other thing that's really impressive with this film that I love, and this is one of the reasons why I love this film, Coleman Domingo's brilliant in it, but
Yes.
um, they used a pay equity system for paying. So when you come out of prison, it's incredibly difficult to get a job, to maintain a job, to get a paying job that actually pays you well enough to survive. So everybody had equal pay based on how many roles they had in the film. So if you were an actor, all the actors got the same pay. If you also were a writer, then you also fell into that category, so you got a section of pay for that. And if you were a producer, you got a section of pay there, and so on. So everybody got an equal pay. But in addition, go out and buy this film, people. All of the actors, all of the crew share equal ownership of this film.
Wow.
Absolutely unheard of. Absolutely unheard of. Especially for like an indie film. So like when this comes out and you have the opportunity to buy it digitally or on DVD or whatever, go buy it. You'll be doing the world a favor.
Yeah.
It's a really, really special film. It's why I picked it that I want it to win. I sadly don't think it's going to win, but I really, really, I'd be so happy if it won.
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
be really, really happy. So.
Yeah. Get a little verklempt over here.
Okay. So that was adapted screenplay. Does anybody has anything they want to say about any of the others? Follow that. Okay, we're gonna move on to original screenplay.
Oh.
Dwayne, you wanna go first?
Let's see, I'm going to go with even though I haven't seen it, I'm going to go all in. Both my votes for The Substance.
All right.
Oh.
I like it. I like it.
I'm just going bold with this.
Love it.
Alexis.
I want The Substance to win. I think Honora is going to win.
I love the way she's saying that. I picked Honora to win.
Oh.
And I wanted to double down. But like Alexis, my want is The Substance, because I think there's something like really special about like the conversation they're trying to have. I mean, this probably hits home for you more than either Dwayne or I, about the state of like the value of women in society, but especially in the entertainment industry. I mean, that's the view they take is from the entertainment industry, but it's not beholden to just that.
Right.
So I think they're having a really interesting conversation about women's worth and self-worth. Because it's not just about like how other people see women, it's about how they see themselves. And what people are willing to do to cling to the things that they want. In this case, it's like power / fame, but acceptance. It could be a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's why I want it to win. But I'm a little surprised you didn't pick A Real Pain.
I know.
Can I tell you something?
Yes.
It's one of the movies I didn't get to see. I know you were dying for me to watch it too. But we'll get there. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, I have more to say about these films when we get to Best Picture.
Yeah.
I just don't want to like say it all now and then not have anything.
Yeah, I wanted to address Sing Sing since it wasn't a Best Picture nominee.
Yeah.
And since we were talking,
which is such a bummer that it wasn't.
It wouldn't win. I mean, there's no chance it was going to win against a bunch of these films. So.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah,
it's hard.
All right. So moving on to 18, actress in a supporting role.
Holy cow, we're already there.
I'll go for. I know we're cruising. This is compared to our other Oscar episodes, compared to some of our just regular episodes.
No.
I'll go first on actress.
Okay.
I doubled down. I believe that Zoe. I just don't think anybody's stopping her. I just don't. I think she's won like every award in this category, and I don't.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think that anybody's going to catch her at this point.
Wow.
And I really liked her performance in this. She
was great.
My one criticism about her in this category is that I think she was an actress in a leading role and not a supporting role.
Yeah.
But as we know, they tend to do these like political things where they put people in to like, I don't know, split it up or whatever. But
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, I really liked her in this film. I thought she was really powerful performance.
Wow.
And the song she sings, the El Mal song,
Right?
that's nominated, is so good.
Mm-hmm.
Alexis,
I
what you
went
thinking?
I went in a different direction.
Yeah.
I want Felicity Jones
Okay.
to win. And I think Ariana Grande is going to win.
Interesting.
I know.
Interesting.
I was surprised when I made that choice. I was like, really? But I had to weigh all of the different...
I'm also surprised by Felicity Jones.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm surprised you picked her.
Oh.
I love Felicity Jones. I'm surprised she's in this category at all. That's how I felt. I know. I'm just trying to get a rise out of Alexis today.
I was surprised another person was nominated in this category.
Who's that? Isabella Rossellini.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I get that. I get that. Dwayne, what's your picks? Isabella Rossellini and Felicity Jones.
I am going to throw both my votes in for one, and that is going to be for Monica Barbaro.
I knew you were going to say that.
Glad somebody picked her. I like her as an actress in general. I thought she was maybe my favorite part of that film. Like I thought like the music is good. Chalamet is great. Pete Seeger, Ed Norton's great. But I don't know. I just thought performance wise, I just thought she was the most engaging to me.
Yes, and she's playing someone who exists.
Yeah.
And I didn't believe that she was playing that person.
So you would know this better than I would. So as somebody who does not follow that era of music very well.
Oh, that is
like,
my
yeah. So like coming from the perspective of like Joe moviegoer, like who doesn't follow that era, like I thought I'm talking about performance. Like she emotes really well. I buy what she's saying to him. I buy her sort of her vitriol for his shenanigans. I don't know anything about Joan Baez. Like I don't know what she was like. So like I'm okay with people like I don't know if I feel like people have to mimic real people necessarily.
He did.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm that's fine. Like Jamie Foxx did. I'm not sure Jamie Foxx had to in Ray. Like
right.
Just because other people do it doesn't mean I think that all actors should do it. And I'm not sure Timothée Chalamet has to do it. Maybe when he's singing, yeah, but like I don't mind actors taking liberties for their performances. I guess is my point.
I just feel like there could have been more Joan Baez in it.
Yeah. Do you think that's her responsibility or the directing and writing?
The directing and writing was there. So I do think it was part of her responsibility. Like as an actor, you need to know who you're playing.
When you say more Joan Baez, what do you mean? More screen time, or are you saying more?
No, more like Joan Baez.
Oh, yeah.
Like giving her more of an homage.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
it's hard when you're playing someone who actually exists.
Yeah.
When you're just making it up, you can do whatever you want.
I might have enjoyed it less. I don't subscribe to like they need to be like again like pointing to Jamie Foxx and Ray like great performance. He sounds just like Ray, acts like Ray. I don't need that. I want to see like I think art isn't just like imitation. It's like it's
well, I guess it's like
putting your own twist. This is how I see the world.
When Julia Roberts played Erin Brockovich, nobody knows what Erin Brockovich was really
so
like.
So it's okay, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because she didn't have like this huge
personality or whatever
impact on the world.
Well, yeah.
Whereas Joan Baez is still alive.
Yeah.
And
I guess
like I don't know if she met with Joan Baez to like find out more about her.
Yeah, I'm not trying to like be argumentative or anything.
That's fine.
I just like I don't know. I don't want every performance in a movie about real people to like stick out like sore thumbs. And that's what I worry about when people are like so dedicated to like mimicking. You know what I mean? Like we already had Chalamet like laying it on thick, and he's great in it. But like I'm okay if he dials it back a little bit too. Actually, one of the other actors who I thought was really really good in it, because one, they limited his screen time, and two, he didn't go so hard on it, but was the guy that played Johnny Cash. He was really really good, and part of it was that he didn't like come in as Johnny Cash like hard. He didn't Joaquin Phoenix it, you know.
Right.
And like sort of played it a little understated. So had he like been a bigger than life figure, I would have liked the film. I would have liked his performance less. I guess that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I can see from like fans of that era being passionate about it. Like I get it.
Yeah.
There's a weird thing where there's like this balance between like doing your own thing and like, you know, being true to what happened. And you know, for some people it hits and some people it doesn't.
Yeah.
For me, it was fine. I really liked her in it. You
I
hated
think
her
she
in it.
was no, I like her. I think she's talented. I just think there could have been more.
I want.
And you say that it would have taken you out had she gone there, and it kind of took me out.
I'm saying if she was like more if it was more about mimicry, it would have taken me out.
Okay.
Because you can, I feel like when you're watching an actor mimic, 9 times out of 10 you can tell they're trying to mimic that person. It's not natural. And that's the difference between, again, I'll point to Jamie Foxx. When you compare Jamie Foxx to Ray Charles, there's Ray Charles is naturally like that, and Jamie Foxx is actively trying to be that, and you can see that it comes through on film.
Okay.
Whether you appreciate it and think it's an amazing job, and it is, like, it still is like I'm watching somebody act. And I would rather watch somebody like relate to something on their own.
Yeah.
And this is how I would react to this. That's what I prefer. But I get it. You know. And I respect your opinion.
Thank you.
Let's go to, what do you think? What category do you think I'm gonna go to next? We just did actress in a supporting role. What do you think?
Actor.
Actor in a supporting role. Very excellent work. Dwayne, do you want to go first?
Once again, I'm going to put all my chips on one contender.
Okay.
And a lot of it was because it's the only performance of all these that I saw. But I think he's very worthy of contention. That would be Edward Norton.
He's very good in it. He's, again, another one of those pieces I really liked in the film.
Yeah. And I've there's this older couple that they gave me a bunch of these of folk records to digitize for them, and they told me, and this was a movie that they'd seen recently, and they were like, that was Pete Seeger on screen. Like, it was him.
Interesting.
And so it's when you say mimicry, I think one thing that I think that the Academy for years on end has been suckers for are biopics, because when they do someone that is like, that's the person, like they give them the statue.
Yeah.
Well, we have an actor in a leading role. We have 4 people that are in biopics. 4 of the 5 are biopics.
Wow.
So you're not wrong.
Yeah.
All right. So you doubled down on Ed Norton. Okay. All right. You feisty girl. What'd you pick?
I doubled down on Kieran Culkin.
I knew you would.
He deserves every part of that nomination.
Yeah.
I was so moved. The levels that he is able to carry. Wait, have you gotten to see A Real Pain, Dwayne?
I know it's on Hulu, but I have not gotten around to seeing it yet.
It's on Hulu?
Yeah,
it's on Hulu.
It's been on Hulu for like a month. Like almost as long as you told me that it was that was really good.
I would have watched it again had I known that it was on Hulu. I forgot.
Yeah.
This brain doesn't hold a lot.
Yeah. Well, no, it does.
It does.
Don't sell yourself. Hey.
No.
You're smart.
I'm not
really
saying
knowledgeable.
I'm stupid. I'm not saying I'm stupid. They're just like, if someone says something in passing, I'll often just not hold it.
You know.
Thank you.
You're great.
Thank you.
You're great. You're all right. You said just like down there.
But I think his performance was so beautiful. The highs, the lows, the like real connection to Jesse Eisenberg, to where they go. It was just beautiful. I fell in love with his character and him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think I picked? You want to guess?
I
What do you think I
think
picked to win? We're up here.
Where are we?
We're up here. So I picked to win Kieran Culkin.
Oh, that you want or you think?
I think.
Okay.
I think Kieran Culkin's going to win. I do want Yuri Borisov to win.
He did a great job.
He's so adorable in that movie. It's funny, like the moment that he's kind of on screen, you just like, you're just kind of it's like a puppy dog. You're like kind of attached to him immediately.
Yes.
And you're not really sure like how long he's going to be in the movie, what kind of role he's going to play. And then by the end of the film, you're
Do
like,
we want to like him?
yeah, I loved the character, and I thought the portrayal was excellent. So
I agree.
Yeah.
He was really fantastic.
Yeah. So
I didn't know. I was like, do I want to like him?
That's what she thought I thought was going to win. No, but I picked Kieran Culkin to win. I think.
Okay. Awesome.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
So next we're going to move, instead of actress, we're going to go to actor
Oh.
in a leading role. I'll go first.
Okay.
I pick Adrian Brody to win. Kind of like Zoe Saldana. He's like won everything else. I'd be really, really surprised if he didn't win. The one I want to win, Coleman Domingo in Sing Sing. I had her on like pins and needles for a second there. I do want to say regarding actor in supporting role and actor in leading role, I did watch The Apprentice. Excellent performances on both parts. Of the two, it's interesting because Jeremy Strong won a lot of awards leading up to this for playing Roy Cohn. Sebastian Stan, though, is the standout in that film.
He plays
Donald Trump.
DJ, yeah.
Yeah. And he doesn't like overdo it. Like he doesn't do like an Alec Baldwin impersonation. You know what I mean? It's not like, again, like talking about like not just mimicking. He just like, and there's something that he does in this movie that I didn't think was possible. And that he made me understand the mindset of Donald Trump better and made me think he's maybe a little less of an idiot than we think he is. And that it's maybe a little bit more calculated than we think. Not completely. Not the way Republicans want you to think it's calculated, but understanding his motivation so much better through this performance. And it might just be performance and it might not be real, but like it did feel very natural and like understandable in a weird way.
Okay.
And so I just wanted, even though I didn't pick him for anything, I just wanted to like commend, like, first of all, I didn't think he was getting nominated for this film. I thought he was going to get nominated for A Different Man, and then he got nominated for this, and then I saw this, and like,
wow,
his performance is really, really good in this.
Cool. So. And would you say that he wasn't doing a caricature of?
No.
Okay.
Because it's not.
So
not, he doesn't do a ton of talking with his hands. He doesn't do the voice.
Okay.
Like there's like hints of things.
Okay.
In it, but it's not. It's more like, if anything is maybe like a little bit of a caricature, it's just the New York accent. Like,
okay.
I don't think that's natural to Sebastian Stan necessarily, and
yeah,
cause I don't know where he's from, but she's looking it up. So maybe his accent, but it doesn't feel like a fake accent either. It's just like, I know Sebastian Stan doesn't have that accent.
Yeah.
But yeah, he doesn't do he doesn't do a caricature of it. He's not doing Donald Trump. He's performing this role.
Yeah.
In my opinion. While she's looking that up, do you want to give your picks, Dwayne, for best actor?
Actor in a leading role. Okay, I'm going to throw in for who I think is going to win would be Ray Fiennes.
Good pick.
But I think who I want to win will be Timothée Chalamet.
Oh,
I like it.
Nice.
And he's good,
right?
I mean, yeah, that movie's great.
Yeah, like I said, the Academy is a sucker for biopics.
Yeah.
But Adrian Brody biopic, Chalamet biopic, Coleman Domingo biopic, Stan biopic. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's a wide open field.
Yeah.
Every single one is a biopic.
No, Ray Fiennes' Conclave's not a bio.
Oh, you're right.
That'd be crazy.
Wouldn't it?
That'd be fucking crazy.
If every single one was a biopic.
What if they're time travelers and they made a movie about something that's going to happen in the future?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
it's a biopic.
The world is going to need a new pope soon. Ish.
The world needs a lot of things soon.
Yeah.
What are your picks?
Well, before I tell you, Sebastian Stan, he kind of doesn't have a specific accent because he was born in Romania, lived in Vienna, and then moved to New York when he was 12.
So maybe he has an understanding of the New York. Like again, the New York
Yeah.
accent doesn't feel like, hey, it's not like this guy, you know,
Right.
like it's not like
He's got an accent over his.
but there is something like so distinctly like New
Yeah.
Yorky accent about it. But
But naturally, he has more of a
yeah, he's like
non-accent
yeah,
accent.
yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree.
Cool.
All right, now tell me your picks. She's making us wait.
I want Coleman Domingo to win,
Yeah, I'm with you.
obviously.
So good.
However, I think Adrian Brody is going to
Oh,
win.
you copied me. I see.
I did. It was that's why you might have missed it. I made a big face. I was like, oh,
Yeah, I missed it.
when you chose that.
Sure. Coleman Domingo of Spider-Man fame.
Oh my God.
He's in the new Spider-Man cartoon.
That's right.
Yeah, he's great.
He's great. I think he did such a wonderful job in Sing Sing.
Yeah.
I was really surprised. Not
I was
like,
very
I
emotional
don't
at the
have a lot. I can't name another movie that he's been in.
Yeah.
I mean, as a human and not a cartoon.
I mean, he was nominated last year.
I didn't see it.
Oh. He's in a lot of good stuff. He's in Euphoria. He's really great in Euphoria.
Oh, I've
also.
never seen that either.
Cool. Yeah. Conversation.
Cool.
Yeah, this is going well. Great.
But no, I was wonderfully surprised by his character, and I know it was from how it was written, but the way he brought that character to life.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's so much. I mean, obviously the writing's good, but like, there's a lot to. There's a really great scene pretty early on when what's the drug dealer's name?
Oh, I don't know.
It's also like Divine Eye or something, right? Like there's Divine G and Divine Eye.
Yeah.
And he's like goes out, like takes him into the hall and shows him like his favorite spot to look out the window and tries to have a conversation with him about like the process of acting. And he goes from like reluctant mentor to like hurt to afraid all in one like scene. And it's really like that's not just writing, that's Coleman Domingo.
Yeah.
The end of the film, I won't say too much, but like the hug at the end, and he just bursts out into tears. I was just like, holy shit, this guy is so special. But there's one moment in the film that I really, since it's not nominated for Best Picture, you want to guess what the moment it is? You can guess. You seem really excited about something.
I'm just wondering if it's the moment that I'm thinking of.
So
There are so many.
He tells Divine Eye. Is that right? Is it correct?
I can't find another Divine.
Oh,
in this
I
list.
think he has another name though. He has like a real name, and then they also have a nickname for him, Macklin or something. He would be one of the first actors on there, I would think.
Yeah, Clarence Macklin played Clarence Macklin.
Yeah. So I think sometimes they called him Divine Eye for some reason.
Oh, okay.
I was very confused by that. 'Cause I was like, it's not Divine G because that's the other guy. So Macklin. So in that conversation when he takes him out into the hallway and he tells him about not using the N-word, we don't call each other that.
Yeah.
Then there's a scene in the same hallway later in the film, and the word beloved is mentioned, and it absolutely fucking broke me into a million pieces. I'm emotional thinking about it now. And that is some of the best writing and some of the best performances I've seen in a couple of years. I mean, at least it's just it was just so beautiful and really meaningful.
There were so many moments that moved me. And it was a fairly short scene when Divine G goes to like repeal his sentence and mentioning the parole hearing where he mentions like he's been taking acting classes and he's really working on himself, and they're like, well, how do we know you're not acting right now?
Yeah, are you acting right now? I was like, what a heart. And in that moment, like bad news, man. Yeah, what a heartbreak.
It like broke my heart.
Yeah.
That's what they took away from it. Not like he's trying to better himself, but like, oh, you're just doing this so that you can make us think that you've become a better person.
Yeah.
And like, they already have it so hard in there Like it like sucked the air out of the room.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, folks, when you watch Sing Sing, watch the end credits.
Yes.
Watch the end credits. Really great credits. If you want to get a headache, watch the Brutalist end credits. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about, Dwayne?
No.
Yeah, so they come in like the end credits are like at the weirdest fucking
Yes.
because you know it's this art like
Yeah.
Oh,
thing
okay.
going on, and so yeah, it's it tweaks your brain because you're not used to it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right, we are moving on to actress in a leading role.
Ooh. Oh, right.
Oh, you seem excited. How about you go first?
I doubled down.
She doubled down, folks.
I doubled down on Demi Moore.
Okay, she's won a lot
Y'all.
of awards.
Before seeing that movie, I was like, no, I don't have any ill thoughts towards Demi, but like, as she had stated in one of her acceptance speeches, like I've been known as some jackass called her a popcorn actress.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I get that. Like a lot of her roles have been a little surface.
Sure.
And this, like, I just like I felt it inside.
Yeah,
I felt that
you,
role.
You probably, as a woman, relate to it in a way that
Yes.
that we're not going to get.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get it.
Yeah. I think she did a beautiful job. And not to say there are some people who are nominated in this category that I don't know why. Period.
Okay.
I will wait until you all say who you want to win.
Hot topic. Okay, Dwayne, you want to go next?
Oh boy. Who I think will win will be Cynthia Erivo for Wicked.
You think she'll win?
I think she'll win. But who I want to win is Demi Moore.
Get it pop. Yeah, I get that sound. You think Demi Moore? You want Demi Moore to win?
I want Demi Moore to win, yes.
Yeah, I think it's a good pick. Those are both great picks. I doubled down on Carla Sofia. And I'm just joking. I knew that would give her a heart attack. I did double down though. I doubled down on Mikey Madison. Look at her face.
What?
I love Mikey Madison in this. I think she was phenomenal in Honora. I put it in ink. She doesn't believe me. I think she's phenomenal. I think she's gonna win. I think she's gonna win it all. She's like, did we watch the same movie?
That is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, no, I loved it. I there are two movies that were my favorite movies of the year last year. Equally, it'd be Sing Sing and Honora. I'm having a really tough time deciding between the two.
Wow.
And I didn't expect to. I knew Honora was going to be good because it was like a Palme d'Or winner, right, at Cannes. So I knew it was going to be good. I didn't expect it to be as funny as it was. I didn't expect it to move at the pace that I thought it moved. And I did not think the performances were going to be as good as they were. I really, really enjoyed Honora.
Wow.
We can talk more about it in Best Picture.
I think Yura did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
While I was watching the movie, I was like, so she's nominated for this film?
I mean, she had won the BAFTA for it, yeah.
I don't know, Mikey. I don't know, Mikey. I've never seen her in anything else because I've never seen Euphoria.
Yeah, she's in The Scream. She's not in Euphoria.
She's not?
No.
Oh, I thought, okay. What is she from?
Scream and some other movies.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought she, okay.
This is not her. This is not at all this human being. This is acting, for sure. Yeah.
For me, it just felt flat.
Oh, I didn't find it flat at all.
And that's fine. I think
love
we
disagree.
watched it from different perspectives.
Yeah, maybe.
It wasn't my thing.
You know what's crazy? I watched it on an airplane.
That is so wild. That is such a wild film to watch on a plane.
It
Like,
really is.
did you watch The Substance on a plane as well?
No.
Okay.
Thank God. Yeah, I was like trying to figure out what I could get on the airplane, what I had access to prior to that, and what I had access to when I got home. And there were two films on the airplane The Apprentice and Anora, which I could fit in each leg
Nice.
of my trip. And I was like, okay, so I'll watch The Apprentice on the way to Dallas, and from Dallas to LA, I'll watch Anora.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I chose that, one is because I had access to them, but two, they fit within the runtimes, and they were included in the in-flight entertainment. I didn't have to
Yeah.
rent them.
Yeah.
So it was like, hey, this is provided to me. Crazy. The Apprentice, which is, from what I could tell, pretty light on like nudity and stuff. Edited the film, like edited out swear words and stuff in the film for the airline.
Oh,
Anora,
that's lame.
not modified one iota. So immediately in the film, TNA,
Immediately.
just immediately in
The
the
first
film,
thing you see
I'm
is the
like
boob.
turning my iPad away from the aisle because I sit in aisle seats.
Yes.
And I'm like, are there children around me? So a lot of sex, a lot of boobs in the film.
Yeah.
So you're indeed 100% correct. It is a wild film to watch on an airplane.
Yeah.
But you know what? The decision when it started and I was like, oh shit.
Hmm.
All right, somebody be mad at me. I'm just gonna be like, look, American Airlines puts this in their in-flight entertainment.
Yeah.
Like if they don't want it on the plane, if they want people watching on the plane, they won't put it in there.
Right.
Or they'll edit it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
fuck them. So I watched it.
I mean, I know from the get-go, I was like, I hate these posters. They're so stupid. And I tried to go into it with an open mind.
You went into it
just
with
wasn't.
You were negative from the beginning.
No,
You were
no.
negative like way early. When I first told you about the movie, you were like immediately, and you knew nothing about it.
I know.
Yeah, that's right. I'm calling you out.
I brought it up.
Yeah,
I
no.
know that I
Yeah.
initially, I really tried to go into it with an open mind, and
Yeah.
it was not for me.
Yeah.
That was not a film for me.
I'll go into it a little bit more and why I liked it so much.
Okay.
When we talk about Best Picture.
Cool.
Um,
Woo.
21. No, 21 we just did. 22, Best Picture.
Here we go.
We'll start at the bottom. We'll save an order for
Are we doing director?
Now we're going to do director last.
Okay.
Yeah. See, mix it up. See, people think they can just scroll to the end and hear Best Picture. But, oh, no. No. I'm tricking you. Okay, let's do our picks and then we'll talk about each film.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yep.
Dwayne?
Oh, why do I have to go first?
You
All
don't.
right.
Mhm.
You want to tell me what yours is so Dwayne can
I can go.
copy you? I'm joking.
I want The Substance to win.
You want it to win.
I do.
Little A there. Okay.
I don't know if it will, and so I'm shocked at my choice of what I think will win, and that is Emilia Perez.
I am blown away by that. Okay.
I know.
Dwayne, are you ready now?
Yeah, I think
Look on Dwayne's face. Just
what I want to win would be The Brutalist. What I think will win will be. I'm sorry. Actually, let me reverse. I'm sorry. What I think will win is The Brutalist.
Yeah.
What I want to win would be The Substance.
Okay. What do you want to win? I doubled down.
Oh my goodness.
If you had asked me before I left Cleveland, I would not have doubled down. And I was struggling so much.
Oh my gosh.
So I doubled down on Anora.
I knew you were going to say that.
Well, I just told you that my two favorite movies
For
last
sure.
year were Sing Sing and Anora.
For sure.
So we'll talk about that. We'll start at the bottom. We'll start at Wicked.
Okay.
We'll work our way up. Let's just talk about what we love
Cool.
about these films. Wicked, fantastic film.
It was so fun.
John M. Chu. I the first time I saw him do anything was Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah.
I loved it. That wedding scene in Crazy Rich Asians, I was like, this is a guy who should be directing big budget like
Yes.
spectacles. And then he does In the Heights, and I'm like, holy shit, I love this. I'd never seen or heard In the Heights, so it was exciting to see. And then now he's doing Wicked, and I enjoyed the movie quite a bit.
Yeah.
I wasn't blown away. I wanted to be blown away. Wasn't blown away.
It was a really great film.
I've heard the second half of the musical is better on stage than the first half, so I have high hopes for the sequel.
Yes.
I've heard the better songs are in the second half.
And I was initially confused as to why it was broken up into two acts, or two films,
Yeah.
but what I later learned is they're going more off of the book and not the musical, which I do appreciate. So it's getting a little more in depth.
Yeah. Did you see Wicked?
I do not.
Okay,
So, yeah,
I won't
that's
spoil it then. I will say, almost immediately at the beginning of the film, I was like, "Oh, such and such thing is going on," and the person I was watching with, after the movie, was like, "How did you see that coming?"
Really?
I said, "I don't know. That's just the way my brain works
Cool.
sometimes." So that was fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to, like, be sort of validated in your art, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
but yeah, so loved the film. Anybody else want to say anything about Wicked? Do you know the music, Dwayne?
not as much the music. I know that my sister saw it on New Year's Eve, and she was the only one in the theater,
Oh wow, that's
and
great.
so she got to sing the whole thing. She like it wasn't the sing along version, so she got to belt it out loud, and she's a singer.
That's so nice.
Good for her, and I'm glad she was alone. That was why I didn't go see it in the theater. I just didn't want to be around.
I was very nervous, and I went with the same buddy that I went to go see Dune Part 2 with.
Yeah.
And I was like, I really am apprehensive to see this in the theater because I don't want people singing around me. Like, I just want to watch the movie. And thankfully, no one sang. I was so relieved.
So, as somebody who only has mildly heard 2 songs from the film prior to seeing it,
Okay.
not now, but prior to seeing it, I had heard some of, and I tried to stay away from the music as best as possible. I had heard some of Popular.
Okay.
Thank you, TikTok. And I had heard, technically, I'd heard all of Defying Gravity because I watched Glee, but I didn't remember it. So I'd heard pieces of it as of late. And so, as somebody who didn't know the musical, sorry, I'm going to kind of give something away here, Dwayne. I was waiting all goddamn movie for those songs. And they don't happen till like near the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Which they're great songs, and I get why they're closer to the end of the movie. But like as somebody who sort of had an expectation and not like wanting that to be delivered on earlier, so I could just kind of sit back and relax and like experience new things. I don't know. It was a little disappointing.
I mean, some of my favorite songs are in the second act.
I've heard that the second act is better for music.
So good.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see where it goes. I have a pretty rough idea, but I think I know. But yeah. Not that I know, but obviously I've seen The Wizard of Oz, so I know where obviously some of it goes, but I think I have some.
Well, it's a prequel.
Yeah.
To The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but I mean, I just you know where, if you know what The Wizard of Oz is, and this is a prequel, you know where it has to eventually lead, right? So
yes,
but I think I've maybe figured out some twists. We'll see. All right. The substance. So we talked a little bit about it. Do you want to talk? You want to add anything, or?
Yes.
Yeah. Go for it.
I think it was a beautiful commentary on women and aging and how it is and is not accepted in society when a woman wants to age. Aging gracefully, as they say, and people are like, oh no, you look old, you have wrinkles, you need to do something about it. And then when a woman does something about it, I can't believe you did something about that. Like, why would you do that to yourself? And then when you try and take back your individuality and your yourself, it's also judged. Like, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
And it was so interesting that you end up becoming your own monster.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
And that was so powerful.
And there's a small like commentary on like the folly of youth.
You take advantage.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't think of the consequences of how your youth can affect you when you get older.
If there's a movie about the commentary of TikTok culture, this was it.
Oh. Yeah.
And sort of like the dangers of the way some people think. Yeah, no, it's a brilliant movie.
Yeah.
Dwayne, you want to add anything?
I can't anything because it's one that I haven't seen yet.
Okay. So
I would say of the movies on this list that I have not seen, that's the one at the top.
That's right. It's fucking disgusting.
It's very, very grotesque.
But as I understand, yes.
But it's great. And all the things you said and all the things that you said that I can't echo because I'm a dude. But I empathize with ally. Yeah, think it was a brilliant film, and any awards, even if I didn't pick it, any awards that it ends up winning, I think it deserves.
Yeah.
So, I worry a lot that the Academy's too afraid of it, but
I know.
I mean,
I know. That's why I didn't think that it was actually going to win.
yeah.
That's what I want to win.
I actually, when we, not to go back too much to the actress in a leading role, but like there was a piece of me originally I was gonna pick Want for Demi Moore. I think, or either Want or Think Wit. I was gonna either split them and flip. I didn't know what way. One, Demi has won some awards already for her performance, and two, I think that the Academy loves a comeback story. We've seen that the last couple years.
Yep.
And they do love to, typically in a supporting role, but they love to honor somebody who's never been honored, who's sort of like fallen out and come back.
Yep.
So, if she played an actress, I would have been like or not an actress, a waitress. I would have been like, oh, she's gonna win for sure. Waitresses are like the most common profession in Academy Award roles.
Seriously?
For women, yeah. So
I'm gonna have to look through the previous nominees.
Yeah.
Was Waitress nominated?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But yeah, so anyways, that actually might not be true now. Journalists might have overtaken that. I'm not sure.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought Substance was great. Nickel Boys, I can't talk about.
I can't either.
Dwayne?
No, all I know is the book is fantastic. That's what my
that's
friend
right.
Sherry told me, but that's it.
One of the reasons I was really excited for this film, and had I seen it, it might have become my favorite film from last year. I don't know. One of the reasons I wanted to see it was the way the story is told is really unique from POV. A lot of POV shots, which you can tell like through the trailers. I think that's also not that palatable for people when they're not used to like a really stylistic vision. That can be difficult for voters. So in that sense, I just didn't think it'll do that well because of that. I think that's what prevents it from being Best Picture, but I could be wrong. Who knows? I'm Still Here.
I didn't get to see it.
I know nothing about it.
More film.
It's about a mother who is forced to reinvent herself when her family's life is shattered by an act of arbitrary violence during the tightening grip of a military dictatorship in Brazil in 1971.
And it was Brazilian.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I picked it to win International Feature Film is like you can't overlook the fact that this foreign film is nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I think we all split our votes that way between Emilia Perez and I'm Still Here on foreign film.
Yeah.
International Feature.
I think it's amazing that it's nominated in both.
Yeah. So we all picked in that category the two movies that also happen to be nominated for Best Picture. So I think that was part of the reason why I picked that, is because
yeah,
hard to argue with that. Emilia Perez, Alexis's pick for winner of Best Picture.
I think it took a lot of chances.
Let's get into it.
I do. I think it took a lot of chances.
I thought the movie was frankly brilliant. I was really, really impressed with it. I personally think there's a misunderstanding about what this movie is. I don't know how much we want to get into. I can't speak to like the cartel side of things. I mean, I can't even really speak to the trans side of things, right? Because I'm not trans. But what I will say is that of the criticism I've heard, I've not heard a good argument from the LGBT side of things that's reflective of the actual film. And by that, I mean the movie is not about those things. And if the movie was about being trans, if the movie was about the process of becoming trans, I would say that's a really great argument. But the fact that the movie basically glosses over the process and comes back years later tells us right at the top that that's not what this movie is about. And this movie is about transgressions and like, can you pay for the things that can you pay for your sins?
Mm-hmm.
And the intention of the film, I think, is done expertly, beautifully. I think the music is really good. There's one song that I think people really have a problem with, that people point to.
Hmm.
But I actually really thought it worked really well in the movie. On its own, I think it sounds awful, but I think in the film it works really, really well.
Hmm.
And that's the whole like man to woman, woman to man. It sounds terrible, but it works really well in the film
Mm-hmm.
as it's happening. I don't know, I know there's a little bit of controversy with Selena Gomez and the fact that she's not a native Spanish speaker. She's come out and apologized for like how that's come across. The argument that I will make on her behalf, that I think is missed in this argument, is like, she doesn't, the argument is sort of like, oh, when she's speaking, she doesn't use like the same syntax. So like, people who speak Spanish and English will mix those things together, but instead what she does is she'll complete a sentence, then switch, whereas it would be much more fluid, for example. But here's my argument on her behalf. Her character is not from Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Her character is not a native Spanish speaker. She's from America who learned to speak Spanish after the fact. And so like, the fact that Selena Gomez is the same,
Yeah.
that's what happened. Like, I buy it. So like, I don't know if I totally get
It seems a bit more genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now all of this stuff is
Mm-hmm.
to say, I am not blind to the fact that I'm a middle-aged white man in America who does not speak Spanish, who is not trans, and I am not going to fully understand the arguments, but as they've been laid out to me,
Mm-hmm.
this is how I see the film and the intention of the film. And I don't know that the arguments really match up.
Mm.
The complaint about the lead actress being, I think, racist. I'm not gonna address, because I don't think there's any, there's no defense of that, right? Like,
Right.
she can apologize all day long. That's between her and the public, I guess. But so that's
Yeah.
where I'm at on Amelia Perez. I thought it was a really great film.
Yeah, I think it was a great film. I do have a few trans friends who shared their
Yeah.
interpretation.
Yeah, I'd like to hear more from trans
And
people.
yes.
I mean, I've read stuff, but I've not talked directly to somebody.
Yeah. They were concerned that it made someone being trans, that the story wasn't as filled out as it could have been.
I get that.
Mm-hmm.
That's where my argument of like,
Yeah.
I don't think that's what the movie is. I think if the movie was about being trans, then I think it's a great argument.
Yeah.
How long
So-
is that movie? It's like 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good size.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, it's like how much do you? And I think there is a balance to things, and maybe that's true. Maybe they could have spent more time and maybe cut back somewhere else. I don't know. I just again look at it from what I think the movie's intentions were, and I think if they wanted to have a conversation about being trans, they would have, and
right.
especially with the trans actress in
And
the
like
lead role.
people saying, why was a non-trans director doing this film?
Great
Someone who
argument.
doesn't understand.
Great argument.
Yeah.
I think it's super valid. I think, somebody doing a Spanish speaking film in a country that doesn't speak Spanish, and the director doesn't speak Spanish, I don't think. I think they're all good arguments.
Yeah.
They're valid. But
Oh, because he also wrote it.
the
The director wrote it.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's like a visionary director that's really well respected. And when people go, well, why did it get so many nominations? It's like, well, the Academy has opened up its voters to more of like Europe, for example, more of the world. And those people are going to vote for and nominate people who are from that part of the world. They're like, hey, this is an underrepresented group. And so the people that we love, we're going to nominate them. So that's why it's getting so many nominations.
Yeah.
As you can tell from our picks, I don't think it's going to win that much. I think those are fine arguments. Although I will say that, like, Coda is one of my favorite films made by a hearing director. You know, like I, I'm not so sure that like not being a part of a club, like, and I don't mean to say that like that's poor phrasing on my part. Not being a part of a group,
A community.
or a community, dictates whether or not you can empathize and tell a story that's, again, if he was telling a trans story, I think the argument is stronger.
Yeah.
I think there's a better argument that he's not part of like understanding of like Mexican cartel culture. I think that's probably a better, because that's really what this is more about.
Yeah.
But I think we all sort of understand that the world is in a place of like the world's on fire, and a lot of people, you know, just in the U.S. alone, like half the country is worried about what's going to happen in the next month, you know, or days or weeks or whatever. And this film is sort of trying to address like, hey, these are the types of people out there, and can these people redeem themselves?
Yeah.
I don't know. We can talk about this all the time. Well, I guess we can move on.
Yeah, sure.
Dune Part 2. Who wants to talk about Dune Part 2?
I would say that the Dune Part 2, this is like I would probably argue in this list, this is probably, well, this and Wicked are like the two like crowd pleaser movies in this category. So it's as far as best as getting the statue, less likely, but it's still, if you look at it overall, directing and acting and writing, I think it's a very, very solid choice of why they put it in the Best Picture category.
French director, knowing nothing about the spice trade. I'm just joking. No, I'm not trying to make fun of it.
It was a beautiful film. The acting was terrific.
Yeah.
Who's the Sarsgaard? The Sarsgaard dad.
Stellan.
He
Yeah.
did fantastic. The guy who played Elvis.
Austin Butler.
Thank you.
Florence Pugh is in it for a second. Zendaya.
One of my favorite British actresses.
From Mission Impossible.
Yes?
Is that what we're talking about?
I don't know. Who are you saying? Who was in Mission Impossible?
What's her name? You know, what's her name?
That woman.
Yeah, she's British.
The older woman.
I don't know if I say older.
This woman is older. You'll see what I'm referring to. Let me just pull that up. Charlotte Rampling.
Oh, yeah, she's a little older. Who am I thinking of, Dwayne? From Mission Impossible?
Michelle Monaghan?
No. From the last couple.
Judi Dench.
Oh my God, what is her name? I love her so much too.
Judi Dench?
No, Judi Dench is not in Mission Impossible. You've seen Mission Impossible movies with me.
I know.
Vanessa Kirby?
No, you guys are fucking killing me
Oh,
right
Haley Atwell?
now. No. Rebecca
Ferguson.
Rebecca Ferguson, British.
Oh, that's it. Yeah,
British. Yes.
Beautiful,
Mission
not old.
Impossible, and
Mission
I was
Impossible.
thinking, oh my God, my brain. The
You were thinking James Bond.
007. Yeah. I was thinking James Bond.
I was like, Judi Dench is in Mission Impossible. And you're like, Vanessa Kirby. And it's like, no, not Michelle Monaghan. I love Michelle Monaghan.
Yeah.
She's in White Lotus season 3.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I do think it was, Javier Bardem was such a fantastic character
Yeah, he's great.
in this film.
I think the thing I liked the most was sort of like Paul's conflict with like religion and sort of like the self-fulfilling, like how religion sort of like forces its quote unquote prophecies onto the people by like making them themselves. I thought that was really, really interesting and very engaging. And it's not something I ever really felt like I got from any, again, I've watched all the other fucking Dune movies and didn't like a single one of them. And I didn't even really like Dune Part 1 very much. But I really liked this because I felt like it was actually like trying to have a conversation about like a real world topic. So much of Dune is like the planet Araxis and the space trade and the Harkonnens. And you're like, are they speaking English right now? Like they just sort of expect you to buy into the world and know. Like one of the things that I feel like Star Wars does really, really well is like stuff is still called milk, and like it what it looks like it often is.
Yeah.
And so it's easy to sort of like buy into the world. And something like Lord of the Rings and like Dune, they don't prep you for any of that. They're just like hobbits,
Yeah.
and you're like, what? um
It's
uh,
like they don't need to feed you the information. They just expect you to know.
but I
And
want
like
to be
as you
fed the
keep
information.
going, you'll just figure it out.
Yeah, but I have a
Oh.
hard time getting into movies like that.
Oh.
So I find them like I get bored
Mm.
and I lose patience with them. So I'd rather like have some identifiable features to like sort of ease me into worlds. Um so yeah, so that's the problem I've always had with Dune. So the fact that they created that there was this storyline that was like a real world struggle that's identifiable with like sort of like, again, not to be super American about it, but like Christian nationalism and
Hmm.
sort of like how that takes over the political system by design, not by accident. And I feel like Dune 2 is sort of having that conversation in a very subtle way. So again, I'm really interested to see,
Hmm.
where they go if they choose to keep going.
Yeah.
So, yay Dune,
Yay, Dune.
yay Dune from me for once. Um,
Next.
Conclave.
Conclave.
Anyone?
I was so surprised. I was so surprised by the ending, but at the same time, I wasn't.
Yeah.
Because
Don't spoil. I'm just reminding. Try not to spoil. You were about to spoil, weren't you?
I was.
Yeah. Just I think this is a case where like if somebody hasn't seen it yet, I really want to encourage them to see it.
Yeah.
Like I think there's some things we can kind of spoil in movies,
Mhm.
but this was like such a like out of left field that
Yes.
I really don't think we should.
Then without saying anything, like without being specific, there was a moment where I was like, oh, that person is a little different.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then when the discovery occurs, I was like, oh, that's not what I was thinking, but very similar.
Yeah. Well, and I picked this for screenplay Dwayne did for
Mhm.
his want as well. And one of the things with that is I think like picking up on those subtle cues, they're so intentional. And I think there's this thread throughout the movie that what's going every step of the way, like what's going on. You know what John Lithgow's character is up to. You know what the African bishop is up to. And you see all these threads and you're like, I've seen this before. And so they lead you to the expected conclusion, and then I think just fucking punch you in the gut. Like all wind is like sucked out of you, and you're like, I thought I was smarter than this. Like I thought I knew where this was going.
Right.
And you don't. And I think that's the genius of the writing, and sort of that's why it's nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah.
Dwayne, Conclave.
No, I have nothing to add to it. It's everything you said essentially. Yeah, it just checks all the boxes for all the other categories as well: cinematography, design, acting, writing, directing.
Then let's move to a complete unknown. Dwayne, do you want to?
I mean, again, it's in there because again, biopics, Hollywood loves them, and that's really all I can say about it. So it's great for a lot of things, but I don't think that it's championship material. I don't think it's going to win the trophy for Best Picture just because of that. But still very much worth watching.
Totally worth watching.
Totally worth watching.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
I have
probably
another
not for
opinion.
everybody.
I have another opinion about it, but I wanted to see if you want to go first.
I was very excited to watch it. That's my
Your era.
genre.
Yeah.
Like I should have lived in the 60s.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you sort of have more rights now, sort of.
Totally.
For now.
Yeah. But like if I could have lived in if I could choose to live in two eras, it would be the 40s and the 60s.
Yeah.
And like I love folk music. I love I used to hate Bob Dylan, and then I dated someone who was like obsessed with Bob Dylan, to the point where I was like, oh, he's not that bad. And like, oh, he's actually poetic, and like he is an amazing lyricist. He's won, what's that big award, like, of the world? A Nobel Peace Prize that he refused to attend because he's just spicy like that. And so I didn't really know what to expect, and I was like, oh, is he going to do that like kind of voice where he...
Yeah.
No. And it was nice to see that he did make it his own, but still, like, I could see and hear the Bob Dylan in him.
Sure.
The story as a whole was fine. And of the films that were nominated,
You didn't pick it.
I didn't pick it.
Yeah.
But I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I enjoyed it while it was going on.
And I didn't know about, I've just forgotten his name, but the man who is in the hospital.
Oh, Woody Guthrie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that Woody Guthrie was going through that.
Yeah.
And it was very heartbreaking, and like, I love Woody Guthrie. I clearly didn't know much more than his music.
He had Huntington's. That's what he had. Not 100%. I think so.
So it was nice to like learn other little snippets about the time and the people who made an influence on Dylan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you good? I think I have less patience for these films right now. Every musician biopic is the same. It's the same plot. It's like young genius becomes troubled, cheats on his girlfriend, gets vilified, becomes a legend.
Maybe it's because that's what happens.
I know, but it's boring to watch after a while. Like
Maybe musicians need to stop doing that.
Well, I agree with that. I do not disagree. I just don't know like how many more times I can watch the same plot. And the thing that saves it is, one, you've got performances by actors you like, and the music. The music's always different, right? Like the music in this is different from Ray, is different from Walk the Line, and so on. But I am losing the interest in wanting to watch biopics about musicians, because it's this. Even Bohemian Rhapsody is the same plot, and they faked that. Like it didn't happen that way in real life with Queen, and they did it because that's the formula for a musician biopic. And it's like, how many times do I have to watch the same story about a musician? Surely there's some different ones.
Then I think they need to make a new.
They just need a break from the thing. If they can fake Queen, they could fake it, even if that's what happened with these guys, they could fake it the other way, you know? Like, I don't know. It's just a little frustrating for me. I have a question. I have a probing question for you too, because you seem to be like pretty okay with like the imitation side of things. Although I think you acknowledged that like he was pretty subtle, somewhat subtle. He did do some things that made it his own. What dropped a pen? What matters more to you? That someone's performance is as close to the real life person, or that the story is as true as possible?
Oh man.
And I think the Bohemian Rhapsody example is a pretty good example of like, hey, they drastically changed how the relationships that were in the band to vilify Freddie Mercury, so that way they could bring it back and make you feel empathy for him.
That pissed me off.
Yeah. So I mean,
I was really pissed off about how the story wasn't as accurate as it could have been.
Yeah. So so I guess go back to the question: what do you care about more, the closeness in performance, or would you rather have a performance that's not necessarily like the real human being, but the story is correct?
I guess not as close to the human being and the story is correct.
Dwayne, what do you think?
That's hard.
Oh. Yeah, you get an answer, a different answer from me for any day, because if you follow the story as it is, oftentimes it's just bland. They do spice things up by they like you said with Bohemian Rhapsody. There was the record exec offering Freddie Mercury a solo contract, and that never happened.
Yeah, the band never had a falling out like that.
Yeah, no, yeah, they were just they took a long break because they were just recording and touring. They were exhausted, they needed a break.
Yeah.
But the studio had to throw that in there because they wanted some kind of drama angle into it.
Right.
But if you on the other edge of the coin, when you have someone who tries to mimic the singer or the band, you can almost intrude onto like Saturday Night Live impressions where it's exaggerated and it's a little too much. They lay it on a little too thick.
Yeah.
So it depends upon the day of the week. Where if they do something that is historically accurate, it's a little dull. There's nothing spicy to it. But if when you have someone who does hit the character and they do embrace it, then you're like, wow, that guy was really who he was, or it was like watching Ray Charles or what have you. So yeah, it's a different answer, different day.
Okay, so with a complete unknown, like, are we okay with like some of the climax like not being true? Like, so like there's one thing that bothered me in it, that was at the end of the film, his relationship with Pete Seeger, and that didn't happen. So like, and even the Joan Baez thing that's not how it happened either. So like them singing together happened at the folk
Monterey,
festival.
The Monterey Pop Festival.
That happened before their falling out. That their falling out happens after this movie ends, right? So like, and like Pete Seeger getting mad at the festival and all that stuff, like, does that fundamentally change how we view his relationship to the people that like helped him get to where he is? And like, where do we stand on that? Because I'm sort of like, I don't love it, but like, I also didn't think the film was like amazing, so I don't have a huge connection to it.
I mean, if you're gonna do a biopic, why make shit up when the facts are there?
Well, it's weird because they from my understanding, the Pete Seeger thing, they like took things that were based in reality, and that was from like a letter that he wrote to Bob Dylan about, he got mad because the sound system was fucking up the balance between he was getting like feedback from his guitar, and he was like, we can't hear you over the guitar. And so he got mad at the sound people for that. He wasn't mad at Bob Dylan. And he said, in this letter to him, like, I just want you to make sure you understand, I was misquoted in a magazine article. I want to get ahead of it.
Yes.
And I was so mad, I thought about picking up an axe and cutting the lines. And they referenced that in this movie.
But incorrectly.
And I was like,
I don't like that.
Yeah,
like,
I was a little thrown off by that.
It would have been so much more endearing to have even referenced that letter.
Yeah.
And so like some of it just didn't feel right. And now that I know,
Like a little manufactured, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, y'all, real things that happen can be so much more interesting than what you make up.
And I wonder if like, if they lean more into like truth, if we maybe would have considered it for, like, none of us picked it as a want or a win, right? And I wonder if like movies were to veer a little more into reality,
it would be nice
if we would have
like
picked it.
if we're going back to the Queen movie, which I don't recall the name of it. Is it just called Queen? No.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Thank you.
I was like,
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Like, we're talking about Judi Dench again?
Oh no. In that film, they like made a specific statement that Freddie Mercury was gay. He wasn't like he was a woman, but really he's gay. No, he was bisexual.
Right.
And like they like would not say that, and I think that's shitty. Like it like. He even was like outspoken over the fact that he was bisexual, and then they just sort of shoved that under the rug, and I didn't like that.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the Brutalist. Dwayne's pick for what will win the Academy Award for Best Picture. I think it's a good. Had I not seen Anora, it would have been my pick to win. It wouldn't have been my want, but it would have been my pick. Dwayne, do you want to talk about it?
I would say that the only reason I picked that was because I think there's momentum behind it, and I will admit that I have yet to see it, and I do want to see it hopefully this upcoming weekend, because that'll be the first movie I've ever seen in a theater that has an intermission. So I want to experience seeing a movie that has an intermission.
Did you not see Oppenheimer?
I did see Oppenheimer. There was no intermission when I saw it.
I'm pretty sure there was one when we saw it, but it was really short, and I think it was. We saw the true IMAX, the real deal. I have a piece of IMAX film. They gave us a piece of IMAX film from the movie.
That's so cool.
Yeah. I think there was an intermission in Oppenheimer when I went. I could be wrong. No, who knows? Oh, it was 3 hours. It's all blurred.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Brutalist is like an amazing work. It's like brutal. It's it's like this slow march to like insanity in some way.
Yeah.
And frustration, and like all the things you don't want to happen, and it's very heartbreaking, and but weirdly like positive in its ending, like I don't want to go too far into the end, but like sort of, recognizing the genius behind the man. I don't know. It's a really, really interesting film, and I think you're right. I think it's got a lot of momentum. So there's a really good chance that you're right, that it's going to win. But
while I enjoyed the film, I'm not entirely sure why it was made, because from my perspective, he does not have any redeeming qualities.
Yeah, but if you were like a huge fan of architecture, and like the Bauhaus movement, or brutalism, right? The way you are, let's say, a Joan Baez fan.
Yeah.
You might be like, yeah. So for like me, I'm like, why are they making a movie about Bob Dylan? Because it's not my
right
thing.
Well, I mean, Frank Lloyd Wright was also not a great person.
Yeah, sure.
I understand that they are sharing about the brutalist movement.
Yeah.
And I think that's wonderful. But also, he just doesn't have any redeeming qualities.
Yeah, but yeah.
I'm like, he's not a great person.
Yeah, fair enough.
He lies to his wife all the time.
Yeah.
And
he was not well, that man.
Yes. So I get torn between creative and literal.
Yeah.
And why are we sharing stories of people who weren't great?
Well, I want to have a conversation about I'm not going to like condone like cheating on your wife and lying to people and stuff, or heroin
being a
use.
heavy drug addict.
Yeah. However, I don't want to discount the PTSD of the process of surviving the Holocaust.
Yes.
And I think that when you like make sure to take that into account, I think some of the other things become a little bit more clear. And sort of like, I don't know what it's like to go through that. And I don't know what it's like to be separated from my wife, not knowing if she's alive.
Yeah.
Or how to get a hold of her, for
years.
A decade. So like, I think I do want to address that there is like, I'm not saying that you don't understand the nuance. I just want to like address in the podcast that like I think what kind of the way you presented it just now is like, I think there is a reason why this film was made. And I think it's to explore sort of why he was the way he was. And the fact that he also was a visionary that saw things in a way that other people didn't see. And I think that's worth telling. And I would rather watch Adrian Brody do it for 3.5 hours than watch a 6-hour documentary on it. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
That's just me, in my opinion. So, whatever. I'm just some dude.
And I'm not saying that I didn't enjoy the film.
Yeah. Yeah. I just wanted to acknowledge, like, the question was, I don't know why.
Yeah.
A movie about this guy needed to be made. I mean, like, we could probably argue that about a lot of movies about people.
Yeah.
There's very few that I'm like, this movie needed Schindler's List. That's a movie that needed to be seen. That's a movie that needed to be made
Yeah.
about a human being.
Mhm.
But the very few biopics I'm like, oh yeah, this movie was needed in society, I
Yeah.
guess. But I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. The last one in Best Picture. Your least favorite, my favorite,
It's so wild.
Anora.
Yep.
You didn't see it, Dwayne?
I did not see it. I know nothing
you
of
want to
it.
talk about why you didn't like it, and I'll try and defend it?
Sure.
Or do you want me to just talk about why I liked it?
Maybe you tell me why you liked it. I would love to know.
First of all, it was like I found it in a weird way to be like the most palatable. Maybe not more palatable than Wicked, but certainly more palatable than like The Substance or like a movie that I found boring. Like, I mean, look, I think Complete Unknown is like a great film, but I was bored by it.
Okay.
And that's just my taste. And again, it comes from like, oh, I've seen this a million times. I don't want to watch it again.
Right.
It felt like a little bit of a chore. Like Dune, I'm not a huge fan of. Conclave, I love the ending, but it was sort of like I'm waiting for this movie to
It's like
end.
pulling teeth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So in a really interesting way, I was the most engaged with this film. I found it really fun to sort of root for Honora and sort of root for her to want better things for herself. And watch her sort of stumble in and out of that. I found that really interesting. I thought there was a really wonderful conversation about classism, and how people can seem to be so earnest in one moment and show their true colors in the next, and that more often happens with people in positions of power and money than anywhere else. And people like Honora in the film don't have that luxury. She has like sort of realized that her strengths and her powers come from like her femininity, and she uses that to her advantage. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't trump like the money and power side of things in the end. And what I loved about that story is that I won't say exactly what happens at the end of the film, but she has a realization about the types of people that she's worthy of and whether she's worthy herself. And there's like a self-realization at the end of the film. And the last shot of the movie is one of the most beautiful shots, I thought, out of all of the movies on this list. I thought it was incredibly moving. And it took like this weird, darkly comedic story and put a really emotional, heartfelt button on it that says, like, you are more than what people see in a mirror or people see through a window. And I connected with that very well. I thought it was really beautiful. Now tear it down.
I didn't find it funny.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You know, it's intended to be. Like, it's
No.
listed under comedy.
No.
Yeah.
I was trying to find the humor in it.
Yeah.
And
I think it's the absurdity of some of the situations.
I think oftentimes I take things literally.
Sure.
And so, like, that happened when we watched.
Cat Baloo.
Yes.
I knew it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
and it's sort of
so
like,
I wasn't paying attention to the fact that it was a comedy.
yeah.
So
It's part
I was so fucking annoyed the
Yeah.
entire time.
Yeah.
I was like, what is, why, stop fucking screaming. Yes, I understand. If I were in that position, I would also be screaming and making a big, but it just annoyed me. I
Yeah.
was just annoyed the whole time.
Can I tell you why I like the screaming? Since we're
Please.
just before you.
Sure.
I just don't want to like move off of like.
Of course.
So one of the things I love about that scene is sort of kind of going back to this idea that like she's using like what she understands this is all a woman is, and the only power a woman has is like, you know, her body
Mm-hmm.
and her ability to make men uncomfortable. And so the screaming is like one of those moments where it's like, sorry, Dwayne, when she starts screaming rape, right? Like that's like such a huge fucking trigger and such a huge card to pull out. She
Mm-hmm.
doesn't do it right away, but
Mm-hmm.
like it's I think it's important to the film to show that like her process of going from I'm tough
Mm-hmm.
to I'm scared and I'm going to run to I'm a captive and I don't know what to do to I have to pull this card. And I think without that scene and all of the screaming and stuff, I don't think you can get there and sort of like have the character move from one point to another. And ultimately, it's part of what beats her down by the end of the film, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um
Yeah.
I really like the scene. I can understand why people might find it annoying because it's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of screaming.
Yeah.
Um, um, but I did find the absurdity of like her fighting back and sort of like their assumption of she's a little girl, she
Mm-hmm.
can't do anything.
Right.
Like I found that fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Um, the cluelessness of those guys and
Right.
like I found that all really really
Yeah.
hilarious.
And what is, I keep forgetting his name.
Yuri,
Yura,
Yura.
with the way he was responding to that, there I was, yes, I was in her, on her side of the, are we supposed to trust you or not? I can't tell.
Yeah.
Are you being genuine or are you being manipulative to make it seem like you're genuine and you're actually a bad guy?
Yeah.
So like through that film I was watching him. I'm like, what
Yeah.
are you doing? But it just, I don't think that this film was made for me.
That's fine. Not every film was for everyone, right, Dwayne?
Yeah.
Not for everyone. Not from the sounds of it.
He was my favorite part.
Yeah, he's great. And I think there's something great about his scenes, like especially in that screaming scene,
Yeah.
where you're like, oh, like if she just chilled out and listened to him,
Yes.
like things would be okay. But that reaction is part of the problem, right? Like that thought,
Mm-hmm.
like it's reasonable for us to have that thought. Oh,
Right.
if she just chills out and listens to this guy,
Mm-hmm.
she'll like we can de-escalate. But like that's a huge fucking problem society has where
Mm-hmm.
it's like, oh, women just need to subjugate themselves and listen to the men
Right.
so that way they can feel safe at that point.
Sure.
You can only feel safety if you listen to men. So like I don't know, it's a really like I loved the conflict that the
Yeah.
movie sort of like puts you in.
Right? It's like a this handsome man who could be a really great guy or he could be a really bad guy. Like who was that? Who was the really handsome serial killer? Ted Bundy.
Oh, Ted Bundy. I was
You
gonna say
almost said it.
Ted Bundy. Yeah.
Like he very well could
yeah.
have been a good guy. He very well could have been Ted Bundy.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
And
well, and this particular character was like, you know, working for bad people.
so how were you supposed to know?
Yeah, no.
It
Scream, girl, scream.
Scream Girl.
Yeah.
But it was just hard for me to watch because I didn't know that it was a comedy. So I
Yeah.
wasn't looking at it as
Context
a
is-
funny thing.
Yeah, context is important.
I was looking at it as this is taking itself seriously.
Yeah. And Sean Baker, you know,
He did Tangerine,
did
right?
Tangerine, and he
Okay.
did Starlet, which I really liked, which is about an adult film actress. And that's also like another like really sweet film about sort of about self-worth and like, you know, being okay with figuring out what you're okay with in the world. He's I really respect him as a director. And I really loved Anora. And if Sing Sing had been nominated, I would have had a really tough choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it wasn't. Fine. Anora would be the one I would probably watch again first.
Really?
Yeah, because I think it's more fun. Sing Sing's great. It's
Yeah.
not exactly fun. There are fun moments.
There are fun moments.
I think Anora's like, again, you didn't watch it from a, like
I
it's a
didn't,
dark comedy.
and
but
so
like-
now I need to watch it.
That's my favorite. Alexius, I love you. You're my favorite. You know, you never cease to amaze me. in these podcasts. Like, I've got to watch it again. God damn it.
Damn it.
Okay, let's move on to our final category, directing. All right. Who wants to go first? I'm so tired.
You haven't been drinking caffeine the whole
I
time.
had a little bit of tea, but not too much. I'll go first.
Okay.
Nobody else is talking. To nobody's surprise, I doubled down on
Oh my.
Nora.
You're kidding. Nora?
Yeah, can you believe it?
No.
I mean, I only picked it to win screenplay, actress, picture. Yeah, I mean, I think when you have somebody who's so involved in the process of telling the story and it's like like he owns it. So like, writing and editing and, producing it and then directing it, like he really, this was like his child. And, not that these other directors can't claim ownership of these other things, but like, like an auteur, and I think he's really talented and has interesting things to say about the underrepresented. Because Honora isn't just a woman, right? She's also a sex worker, and that's a topic that people don't want to talk about, or they want to vilify only. That's it. There's no in between. And I think like having a conversation about that is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Alexis, your turn.
Double down on the substance.
Double down on this. I think it's a good. Sorry. I think it's a good pick too.
Mm-hmm.
Dwayne, I think hard to not. And
Yeah.
These are all good picks.
Who I think is going to win will be James Mangold for A Complete Unknown.
Oh.
And then and who I want to win is going to be The Brutalist, just because it's got momentum.
It's big. It's big too. It's like
Yeah.
such a big movie, right? Like there's nothing small about that film at all. Yeah. Wow, we did it, you guys.
No.
I might do some of these as clips
Cool.
to post throughout the week. Any particular that maybe we should just real quick. Should I just go through them all again? No, that's too much work. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll figure out how to do clips. I was like, oh, if after each one we had just recapped it, that would have been so smart of us.
That's okay.
Smart.
Yes,
So yeah, well, I'll figure out a way to do clips. So
Okay.
maybe. Anybody have any requests of which categories you want? Like do you really want costume, or do you really want something in a clip throughout the week?
Maybe discussion about the international film.
Put a little star next to it.
Yeah.
Or like a plus. Dwayne, anything you?
I'm wide open for everything. I think we evenly did everything, and this is, I think, like a lot of people have considered like this is like one of the most wide open Oscar races in a long time.
Right?
There's not really much of a lead contender in most categories.
It's funny. I was really anxious. Like I take so much pride in this. I shouldn't. But I do. So I'm pretty competitive with this one. And so like I was anxious. I was like really nervous over the last several days to actually, so I didn't do my ballot till this morning. And I was waiting till the last minute to like, okay, what if I see something else? What if I think of something else? And so that happened today, actually, when I was, Desi wanted to do one for herself. And so I was playing songs and score for her because she didn't have to watch anything for that. She just listened to the music. And when I heard the Wicked score, I was like, I got to change to what I want. And so, I waited to the last minute. I was really anxious about it. But to what you're saying, it's interesting. Last year, I felt like was the year, more than this year, I felt like things were just like so up in the air. Because I was like not totally sure, as much as we both loved Poor Things, for example.
Right.
I was not really sure that the voters were going to it was going to click with them.
Because that was a really wild out there film.
Yeah, it was really bizarre.
Yeah.
And then there were movies like what's the movie with Jeffrey Wright where he's the author? American Fiction.
Yeah.
So stuff like that. There was a bunch of movies like that last year that was like, I was like, so last year I actually felt a little more unsure of, but
Yeah.
Dwayne, you're not wrong that this is like, between the Golden Globes and the BAFTAs and the SAG Awards, which were tonight.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Do we have any updates on that?
It
starts right now.
in a minute.
All right, let's just have that part of the podcast. We'll just watch the SAG Awards and react. No, we're not doing that. Although we are. This is one of maybe the shortest Oscar episode we've ever done.
Wow.
Give yourself a round of applause. Yes, yes. There you go, Dwayne. That's how you do it in a circle. That's cute. It's adorable. It's very Girl Scouts of you. We're at camp.
I was a Girl Scout.
So I guess that's it.
Awesome.
Thanks everybody for joining us on this journey.
Yay.
Dwayne, thank you for being here. Do you want anybody
Always a pleasure.
to follow you anywhere? Instagram?
No.
No.
No?
Do
You can follow us.
Yeah, follow us on Patreon and Instagram and TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Our TikTok
YouTube.
followers. TikTok followers are blowing up.
Whoa.
I'm not lying.
Heck yeah. We're also on YouTube.
We are on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Should we do this one as a video for everybody?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Why
Maybe
not?
they want to watch us for 3 hours. Does anybody
Sure.
wanna watch us for 3 hours.
I mean, they can fast forward.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they could.
We could. Who knows?
Anyways, okay, that's it. Thank you, everyone. Until next time. Oh wait, do we need to tell what the next movie is?
No.
All right.
Nope.
Yeah. Fuck you, Viewsters. You don't get to know.
It's gonna be a surprise.
No, we love you.
Yeah.
All right. Until then, Bond Cinema. Fuck you, Viewsters. All right. All right. So here's the official score sheet. I'll keep score Oscar night, and we'll post on